a whiteboard that says live masterclass. Okay, I'm going to assume Courtney can see it as well because Linda can see it too. Okay, brilliant. Perfect. All right, guys. So, I mean, look, it's no secret. You kind of know exactly what we're here for today. Um, like I said, I want to make this a little bit different from how I usually do my masterclasses. For those of you who've joined it before, like Linda, I know has definitely joined my masterclasses before. We've spoken. Usually, I just kind of go through the presentation, and it's more me kind of just giving you the information, answering questions. So it's a lot about me speaking, right? But I thought today I'll do something a little bit different and give you guys the opportunity to kind of sit in a hot seat, ask some questions, so I can kind of like do a little Q&A with you, but also we can really get down to the nitty gritty about where you're at with things and what we need to do to help you to move forward, right? So whatever I discuss with the one or two people that come on the call, it's going to help all of you, right? Because it's pretty straightforward. The strategy works right across the board. So by the end of this call, you're going to know exactly how to find the Facebook group Goldmines, which, again, if you've been looking through my content, it's something I speak about a lot. It's really important. Facebook's the only platform that has this powerful tool that we can use called the groups. There are groups on places like LinkedIn as well, but nowhere near how effective they are on Facebook. So I'm going to show you how to find them, how to utilize them properly. I'm going to show you how to find the high demand areas to focus on, specifically for rent to rent. So again, if you've been watching my content, you know that mainly we focus on selling rent to rent deals just because of how quick they are. They're the easiest deals to transact. But we'll go into that a bit more detail about that later. I'm going to show you how to build a qualified investor list, which for me is the backbone of every deal sourcing business. So we'll go over why that's so important, how to do it, etc. I'm going to go over how to build a network, so co-sourcers and letting agents, which of course is very important. We need deals to be sent to us almost on autopilot whilst we try and secure our own deals directly. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and also how to secure your own deals directly from landlords. We use websites like Gumtree, we use Facebook Marketplace. We'll go into more detail about that a little bit later. And then finally, how to operate this whole business 100% remotely. So again, if you've been following me for a while, you would have seen I'm always posting about my clients, the people that are working closely with me in the program, the results they're getting. We've been getting results consistently for the past 3 years since I launched the program. So it's really, really powerful. And I'm going to go through all of that with you guys today. Is that clear? Just give me a yes in the chat if that's clear. Is everybody clear on what you're going to learn today? Just let me know. Perfect. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Linda. All right, brilliant. Okay, so just so I can get an idea of where everybody's heads at in the room. I know there's only 3 of you in currently, but look, I'm gonna speak to you almost as if there's 100 of you in the room, right? So we're still gonna get into as much detail as possible. So just give me an idea of where you guys are at. What are your goals for your deal sourcing business? So I speak to people all the time. I get hundreds of messages every week from people that are either already deal sourcing and just want help with certain things, or people that are planning to start out and just don't know where to start. Uh, and people have huge goals. Some people have like really conservative goals. Some people just want to make enough to get out of their full-time job. So if they're making 3 grand a month, they just want to make 3 grand a month and they'll be happy. But then of course you've got the people who are thinking a little bit bigger, and they're trying to make 5 figures a month, 6 figures a year. So let me know in the chat what kind of goals you guys have. It would be great to know. I'm always interested to hear where people's heads are at, why they're getting involved in this business. Okay, so Linda said better for us. Definitely, Linda. I can give as much time as to you guys as necessary now, as long as it stays as small as this. So Linda said, learn the strategy from point to point, 1 deal a month to start. Okay, 1 deal a month to start. So ideally you'd like to be making about 3 grand a month, Linda. We're selling these deals for £3,000 each. So yes, Terry, please stop playing with the screen. You're playing with the presentation. Please, 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 Terry. Okay, let me just move that back. Okay. Terry, please stop playing with the screen. We can see that it's you playing with it, mate. Please leave the screen alone. I can zoom in if you can't see it.
I can't see you.
Okay, but just leave the screen, please, because it's going to mess up the presentation. I'll move it for you. Is it too big or too small? What is it?
Nah, I can't see you. Like,
You can't see me.
nah.
You don't need to see me. Can you
Oh,
see the
okay.
whiteboard?
Yeah. Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
all right,
that's
that's
all you
fine.
need to see because the whiteboard's what we're focusing on. So
Okay,
you can
okay.
see where it says, "What are your goals for the deal sourcing business?"
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. All right, so just let us know in the chat, okay?
Oh, okay, all right.
Perfect. Top man. All right, so let me go through. So who have we got here? Linda said one deal a month. So like I said, about £3,000 a month. Julie, sorry, apologies, Julie, said initial goal is 10K per month. And for some people, that sounds like a huge goal, but honestly, it's very, very realistic, especially in this business. Like I said, we're selling each deal for £3,000 each. I'm going to show you some of these sales in real time in a second. But £10,000 per month, that's 4 sales, 3 sales. You know, if you're selling them for slightly above 3,000, which actually a lot of our deals do sell for slightly higher. Linda, please stop playing with the screen. Linda, please stop playing with the screen. Guys, if all of you can please just not play with the screen. If you can't see it or if you're having any issues with it, just write it in the chat and then I can adjust it for you. Because otherwise it messes it up for everyone else. Nobody can see what's happening. Okay, please. Linda, just let me know in the chat. What is it you're struggling with? Is it too big, too small? You can't see? All you should see on the screen, guys, is what are your goals for your deal sourcing business? You shouldn't see anything else. So can you see that? Just let me know if you can see that on the screen. So as I was saying, Julie, very realistic. And what I'm going to show you today, you'll be able to implement and very easily hit that goal. Courtney said, learn how to get investors interested in the deals. Okay. Very good, Courtney. Definitely going to cover that. Linda said, trying to see the screen alone, too much other stuff there. I'm not too sure what else you're seeing, Linda. You should literally just see the writing. It should just say, what are your goals for your deal sourcing business? Shouldn't really be able to see anything else. Okay, I think it was, yeah. Because so guys, like I said, if everyone just keeps their hands away from the screen, the only thing you should be doing on the screen is typing in the chat, right? Okay, I'll zoom in again if that helps, guys. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I think that's fine anyway. I think we kind of can see where everybody's heads at in terms of their goals. Terry, I can't see your answer. Terry, let me know what's your goals. Hi Tinu, I can see Tinu's on, Cassie, Zika. Guys, if you can, just let me know what your current goals are for your deal sourcing business. Just write it in the chat. We've had somebody mention that they just need 1 sale a month. So that equates to £3,000 a month, which is very realistic, super realistic. And then we had somebody else mention £10,000 a month. Again, maybe sounds like a big number, but again, is very realistic. I'm going to show you some examples of people doing that. We've actually got people that do that in a week, right? Zika says minimum of 5 deals per month. Okay, so we're looking at about 15,000 in terms of fees. If you were selling them all directly to your own investors, which I'm going to show you how to find, you could very easily be hitting the 10 to 15,000 pounds per month mark. Very straightforward. Again, the only thing that you guys need to have in place to be hitting those types of targets is the right structure, which is what I'm going to go through with you today. So, okay, Terry said for now 2 sales a month for a beginner. Okay, again, very realistic, very realistic, guys. When I kind of break everything down for you, you're going to understand why I'm saying it's so realistic, and it's actually pretty straightforward once you know what you're doing. Zika said, I already have some investors. Okay, brilliant. Already got some investors. What's your goals, Zika? Let us know. Okay, you said minimum of 5 deals a month. Okay, already have some investors. Okay, I'm gonna walk through with you maybe why you're not already selling 5 deals a month. If you've already got some investors, I'm gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper with a few of you guys. Again, for those of you who are just joining the call now, I was explaining to the guys at the start that I'm gonna do this presentation a little bit differently than I usually do. Usually I just kind of go through the information and kind of just give you all of the info for you to take away and kind of figure it out on your own almost. But today I want to get 1 or 2 of you on the call and actually go through your actual situation and give you some real guidance in real time so that everybody on the call can take some value from it, right? Because again, this strategy is quite straightforward and everybody can use it. Everybody that's on this call, doesn't matter what area you're operating in or what your situation is currently, every single one of you can use what I'm going to discuss with you. So we'll get into more detail about that later, Zika. Okay, Tinu said financial freedom. Okay, what does financial freedom look like to you, Tinu? Tell us. You know what you may deem as financial freedom for another person might be a different number. You know, I know financial freedom looks different for everyone. So yeah, let us know the number. Let's see how realistic it is. And Zika said I started deal sourcing early last year. Okay, so only sold 2 throughout the year. Oh wow. Okay, we're gonna find out why that's happening, Zika. And in fact, actually, guys, on that topic, out of interest, just let me know in the chat who would be open to jumping on the call with me so I can kind of go through your roadmap with you and almost sort of audit your business for you in real time. I would love to speak with. Okay, so Linda has said yes straight away. So maybe Linda and Zika, if you're free, I would love to speak with you, just based on what you just said about already having investors. Started a year ago. I've only sold 2 deals, and then we can maybe figure out what the issue is. And if we've got enough time, of course, I'll try and get some more of you guys on as well. But okay, let's keep moving forward so that we can save as much time and I can speak to as many of you as possible. So Cassie said time freedom, brilliant. So I can travel, of course. This is another thing that's really good about deal sourcing, especially with the way that we do it, because we're doing it 100% remotely. You can travel. You can be anywhere in the world. As long as you've got your phone, you've got your laptop, you've got Wi-Fi, you can still do these deals, because you don't have to physically be anywhere. And I'm actually going to show you multiple examples of the guys that are working with me doing that. We had Charlie selling a deal while he was in Florida, made $3,000. We had Denise over in Portugal, a nice kind of like party holiday she went on to actually celebrate selling some deals maybe like a week or so before, and then sold another bunch of deals, right, whilst being abroad. And we've got many other examples of it. So definitely this is the right type of business to be in if you want to have that time freedom and travel. But Cassie, let me know what the number looks like in terms of how much would you need to be earning from this business for you to be able to travel and kind of have that time freedom. Obviously, what your outgoings are monthly and kind of what you need to earn for you to be able to live that lifestyle. So just give me an idea. I always like to hear the actual numbers. Okay, Tinu said maybe also 5 deals a month. Okay, not sure what to expect. I'm still researching and putting things into place. Okay, that's very realistic, Tinu. Honestly, very realistic. Zika said, yes, please. We already chatted about this on Facebook message. I was supposed to book a one. Okay, even better. Definitely. We can have that chat in front of everyone so everybody can take some value from the tips I'm going to give you. So that's fine. Tinu said, I'd like to be realistic and not speculate with time commitment, possibilities, etc. required. Okay, no problem. Cassie said mine is 10K a month. Okay, very realistic. All right, guys. So I've got a kind of an idea of where everybody's heads at in terms of the type of income they're expecting to make. All of you are being very realistic, to be honest. Nobody's come on here and said I want to make £1 million a month, right? Everyone's been super realistic. So I really believe you're going to take huge value from this conversation, from this training. Okay, so next question was, what's the current situation with your deal sourcing business? So now, like I said, we had Lindo. You told me, ideally you'd like to sell 1 deal per month, about £3,000. We had some others that mentioned 10K per month. We've had some that have mentioned selling 5 deals a month. So guys, let me know what the current situation is. Why are you not already hitting those goals? In your opinion, of course, I'm going to give you my take on it once we get to speak a little bit more in a second. But what do you think has kind of stopped you from already hitting those goals, right? What's the current situation with the business? Have you not started yet? And maybe that's why you're not hitting those goals yet. Is it that you've started and you just don't know what to do? You're hitting roadblocks? Give me an idea of what the situation is, because again, that's going to help me out. And actually, when we maybe speak one-to-one with a few of you, I can touch on that in more detail. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I love the fact that you guys are really engaging today. That's beautiful. Okay, so Tinu said, where do you find genuine investors? We're gonna get into that. Don't you worry. Definitely, we're gonna get into that in a second. Linda said confusion around the basics, due diligence. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. We're gonna go over that in more detail, Linda. Julie said, not sure where to start. Okay. Zika said, I need to invest in myself first. Fair enough. Cassie said, knowledge and fear comes in. I like that. That's honest. You know, a lot of people actually are quite, worried and concerned about this whole approach, right? In terms of having to have those conversations with landlords, investors, co-sourcers. It's all foreign to most of you guys because you're brand new, right? So it feels like it's something quite scary. But believe me, once you know what you're doing and you put some practice hours in, you're going to find that it's actually pretty straightforward. But it's good to know that these are the things that are maybe stopping you guys, because I definitely feel like I can help you, or I can help you quite a bit on this call, and then obviously we can see whether there's anything more I can do afterwards. So Cassie said knowledge and fear comes in. I like that answer. Very honest. Who else did we have? Linda said strategies. Courtney said, I've been trying to sell buy to lets, but on Facebook, investors will just ignore my message once I send investment pack over. Okay, Courtney, I'll be honest with you. I mean, look, because we focus specifically on rent to rent deals, and I don't know how much you know about myself, but quick backstory: I started in property in 2011, and I spent maybe about 2 years as an estate agent. The rest of the time, I've been a deal sourcer, investor, and I've sold buy to let deals on my own independently with my company. And when I was an estate agent, that was just normal, right? One thing I can tell you is that type of deal takes a very long time to complete, right? It's going to take you quite a while for you to actually be paid your fee and the deal's done and that money is now yours, because of course you have loads of things to take into consideration. Your mortgage applications, your surveys, your local authority searches, all of these things come into play, and all it takes is for one issue in any of those different stages of the sale, and before you know it, a sale that you thought would only take a few months is now taking 6 months or 12 months. And I've literally gone through buy to let sales that have taken over 12 months, right? Whereas with rent to rent, you never have that issue. We can go straight into the sale, and within a matter of days, it's done, dusted. We don't have to worry about any of that. There's no mortgage, there's no surveys, there's no local authority searches, there's no conveyancing. So it's a very straightforward process. So my advice would be, maybe not to say completely ditch buy to lets, because if that's what you're already doing or attempting to do, maybe you carry on doing that. I never like to tell people to, quit on what they're already doing. But what I would say is you have to add rent to your arsenal, and maybe put more focus on that, because that's going to make the difference with your cash flow, right? You've seen, if you've looked through the results that we're getting, we're selling these deals really quickly. £3,000 banked, no problems, no questions asked. In fact, a lot of the guys are actually selling deals for slightly higher than 3K now. Like I said, I started in 2011. At that time, you could just about get £2,500 per deal. 2,000 was kind of like the market rate. It's gone up and it's continuing to go up. So you want to kind of get involved in that. You're already in the business, so you want to get in the mix of that. So it makes your life a lot easier. But again, we're going to go into more detail about that as we kind of work our way through this call. But it's good to know what the situation is. Courtney, Tinu said, uh, dense sourcing deals everywhere. Okay. But who's buying? How do you convince landlords to rent out their property? Okay, so it's basically, it sounds like basically the whole strategy. There's different reasons, of course, and different people, I imagine, at different stages. But as a whole, basically the whole strategy, we need to go through it and make each point super clear, so you're not having these issues anymore. Okay, so okay, good, really good. Let me keep going. So where are we? Like I said, today we're going to go through the exact same strategy that my clients are using to make £10,000 plus per month currently. I'm going to show you some examples. Again, for those of you who've already been through my masterclasses or have been following me for a while, you would have already seen some of these examples. We have over 150 examples like this that I'm about to show you. So it's crazy. If you're, well, you all of you guys are in the free school group. So when you get a chance, take a minute to go through the wins section. So there's a tab that says wins. And if you click on that, then you'll be able to see, if not all, the majority of sales that our guys inside the premium program are getting. But I'm going to show you a few of those examples really quickly now. Just quickly, guys, everyone can still hear me okay and still see the whiteboard? Just let me know in the chat. In the background, you should see Quran. And again, guys, please remember not to play with the screen. Just let me know if you're having any issue seeing it and I can either zoom in or zoom out. But you should see Quran in the background. Can everybody see that? Just give me a yes in the chat. I'll just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, can you see that, guys? Just give it a second. I think it was taking a little second to come up on the screen. Everyone should be able to see my client Quran, who made another £3,000 in 1 week. Can we all see that? Okay, Linda said no. Julie, no. Courtney. Okay, nobody can see it. 1 second. Let's just have another look. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to close the whiteboard and open it back up. Please, just for the sake of, this is why I said just don't play with it, because Zoom and the whiteboard is very temperamental, and then you play with it once and then all of a sudden you've lost it, right? So just give me 1 second, guys. Let me get it back up. I really appreciate your patience. And like I said, if there's anything you can't see, just write in the chat and I will zoom out or zoom back in, right? Can everybody see the screen now? It should say live masterclass, the art of deal sourcing. I'm going to scroll back down to where we was, but let me just make sure you can all see that first. You can see that? Perfect. All right. So let's go back to where we were, guys. Let's go back to where we were. So we were speaking about my client Quran, which you should see in 1 second. Where are you, Quran? Here he is. All right. Can everyone see that now? I'll zoom in a little bit as well. Should be able to see Quran on the screen. Zika says yes. Perfect. Julie, yes. Tina, yes. Everyone can see that. Linda, can you see that? Let me know. Terry, Courtney, can you guys see that on the screen? It says my client Quran made another £3,000 in 1 week. Okay, perfect. Everyone can see. All right, we're back on track. Lovely. Right. So as I was saying, this is one of my clients. I'm showing you these examples because these are quite recent ones over the past 3 weeks, over the past few months. Again, we've got so many. We'd be here all night if I tried to show you all of them. So I'm just trying to show you the most recent ones. I've actually missed out some of the ones that have happened since the new year. These are all from December and maybe November. So Quran has already been selling deals since joining the program. Again, if you've been following me for a while, you'd have seen I've posted him quite a bit. Sold his first deal within the first 4 weeks of working with me. This was just another one he sold in December a few weeks ago. Again, sold this to an investor that he found in a free Facebook group using my strategy, which I'm going to go through with you guys in more detail in a second, the actual strategy. But keep in mind, that's how he's found this investor and added him to his list, and also secured the deal for free. So he didn't have to invest his own money to secure this deal. He didn't have to pay for advertising or pay an agent or pay anyone. He literally secured this deal directly himself and then was able to sell it to an investor that he had already added to his qualified list prior to finding the deal, which is exactly what I preach, right? So you can see here where the payment was received into his business account, £3,000. The reason why I like to show this as well is because it's just the other day someone asked me whether or not investors are still paying £3,000 per deal, and I said, yeah. I mean, we're not having any pushback on 3K. You know, if you try and charge a little bit more, sometimes people are kind of, you know, because we know that's the market rate. But 3K is happening all day, every day without any problems. And you can see where Quran said here, thanks, Gary, all your knowledge getting to work. So we've been working really closely on making sure that his foundations were laid properly. He's able to then put the process in place and sell these deals consistently, which he's been doing since joining. So absolutely amazing. That was Quran. We also have my client Shah. Again, this is another recent one. He just made 3K in less than 2 weeks. Can everybody see Shah on the screen? Just let me know. You should see my client Shah, 3K less than 2 weeks. Just give me a yes if you can see that. Yes, brilliant. Okay, perfect. So again, you can see here, Shah made £3,000 in less than 2 weeks. Now he would have actually done it quicker. Is only because one of the parties, I believe it was the investor, wanted to make some changes, some last minute amendments. So it meant that we were set back a couple of days. Usually these deals are being done 7 days max, right? This one took just over 7 days, but still brilliant. You know, £3,000 in less than 2 weeks. It's amazing money. Again, starting from scratch, you can see here, this was his third deal he sold since joining the program. So what's that, about 9 grand's worth of sales. And he said, if you're looking for a deal sourcing masterclass and mentoring, I highly recommend Gary Walker. You can also see the money hitting his account here. Again, 3K. Like I said, someone was just asking me whether 3K is still happening. We're seeing it happen with no problems at all. And again, it's just knowing what you're doing, making sure you've got serious investors to sell these deals to, and of course, knowing how to secure the deals in the first place. So that's Shah. I'm going to try and go through these as quickly as possible, guys. And then what I'm most excited about is just getting you guys on the actual call and going through this in real time. So let me rush through this. So this is Denise, another one of my clients. Denise literally joined the program only a few months ago. You can see here where she sold a deal in 3 days and made 3K. You can see here 3K in the bag in 3 days. Abfab, my first deal done and dusted in 72 hours, which was absolutely crazy. So from the point of her actually sending the deal out to the deal selling and her being paid, it literally only took 3 days, right? She didn't have to attend the viewing. She didn't have to go and meet the investor or meet the landlord. Everything was done 100% remotely. And then you can see the actual payment hitting her business account here. Again, another 3K. And then only a few weeks after, she goes and sells another 2 deals in one weekend. It was actually on a Sunday. So you can see here, you know, Sunday fun day, 2 deals in 31 minutes. The law of attraction, appreciate you, Gary. And you can see where the 2 payments hit her account, 2,500 for one of them and 3,000. So she sold these 2 deals to the same investor, which is why she gave one of them at a discount. So she knocked off £500, which is what I always advise. If you've got clients that are taking multiple deals from you, whether it's someone that takes a block deal, whether it's someone that just takes 2, or it's someone that's buying a deal from you every single month, should always give them a little discount. That just helps build that relationship. So she done really well there, £5,500 in one weekend, and she had just made 3 grand like 2 weeks before. Crazy. Starting from scratch, by the way, guys. Just like many of you guys mentioned earlier, similar position as you. Everyone can see that, right? With Denise, just give me a yes if you can see that. Is that nice and clear on the screen before we move on? Can everyone see the screenshots of the money hitting her account and everything? Just want to make sure you can see everything, guys. Julie says yes. Okay. I'm going to go with what I've noticed is if Julie can see it, the rest of you guys can see it. So if Julie says yes, then it's usually okay. All right, perfect. Terry says yes. Brilliant. Okay, everyone can see it. Okay, so we also have my client Mahin here. Mahin's actually getting a really good name for himself in the industry because somebody actually reached out to me just yesterday saying that they're working with Mahin on another deal. And he mentioned to him that he was one of my mentees, and he was just like, he's just so good, the communication. And I said, yeah, I mean, it's something that we're big on, right? It's a lot of deal sources just kind of come into this business to grab some money quickly and disappear. We're actually building businesses. We're really trying to crush it with these businesses, right? So, of course, to be able to do that, the service has to be 10 out of 10. We have to do things professionally, and we have to treat people, you know, in a really good way so that they want to come back and work with us over and over again. So this is Mahin, again, joined the same time as Denise that I just showed you. Cassie, please stop playing with the screen. Guys, please remember, don't play with the screen. If you can't see anything on the screen, please just comment, because now you're going to mess it up for the other guys. They can't see the presentation if you play with it. Let's see if I can get it back up. Sorry about this, guy. Just give me 1 second. Cassie, just let me know in the chat what it is you can't see, and then I can sort it out for you, okay? But please, guys, do not play with the screen. All right, let's go back to where we was. Where are we? Okay. Okay, Cassie, please just if you just leave the screen. In fact, I'm sure there's a way that I can stop you guys from playing with it. Just give me 1 second, guys. I appreciate your patience. And we're gonna have to probably just bring it back up again. Okay. Okay, guys, please just any problems, just write it in the chat and I will try and zoom in or zoom out or whatever it is you need done, okay? Just makes it so much easier. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So we was talking about, I think we went past Shah, didn't we? So Marhen. Let's go back to Marhen. Can everybody still see the screen or do I need to open it back up again? Just let me know in the chat. I know I'm scrolling down, but just in 1 second. Can everyone see Marhen now? Yes, can you see it? Linda can see it. Perfect. You can see Marhen on screen. Can everybody see Marhen again? Just let me know in the chat. Give me a yes if you can see it. Okay. Let me just close it again. Guys, just please, while I close it, just like I said, when I bring it back up, if you can just not press anything on the screen, right? I don't know why Zoom allows the viewers to change it. Only God knows why. But if you can, just please refrain from touching the screen. Just type in the chat. If you can't see something, just say, Gary, I can't see. And then I can stop and zoom in or zoom out or move it around. That's the easiest way for us to do it, just to keep it nice and smooth. Yeah. Okay. Everyone should be able to see it again now because I've refreshed the screen. Can everyone see that? Should see me scrolling through. I'm going to go back down to Marhen. Yes, everyone can see it. Perfect. All right. No pressing the screen, guys. Please, please, please. Okay, so Marhen. All right, so let's do this nice and quick, and then I can get you on get one of you on the call. So, as I said, this is Marhen. He actually joined the program similar time to Denise, who we just spoke about above. They only joined a few months ago. He sold his first deal, similar to Denise, actually within 3 weeks of joining. As you can see here, morning Gary, the investor has paid. First milestone achieved. It took 3 weeks. Started from scratch. Again, we worked together to build his qualified investor list every day. Built the list really quickly and then very quickly went on to building a strong network. One thing about when you work with me and you join my program, you automatically have access to my network and the network that's been built within the program. So straight away, you have access to all of the active sources that I'm working with and I'm training every day and supporting, who are securing deals and selling deals. So you can very quickly jump in the mix and start selling deals very, very quickly. Which is what a lot of the guys who've joined the program have done. So yeah, Marhen really, really took advantage of that and got his first deal sold. It was a 3K fee, absolutely amazing. He's gone on to sell more deals since. You guys might have actually seen me post about him securing £30,000 worth of deals, which he's slowly just selling off. That was only in December. So he's doing really amazing, considering he's starting from scratch as well, similar to some of you guys. We also have Milani. Can everyone see Milani on the screen? Sold a rent-to-rent deal to an investor he found in a free Facebook group within 1 week and made, as we can see here, 2,500. Again, he gave him a small discount. It should have been 3K, but just to kind of smooth things over and build on that relationship, he felt a discount was worth it. So he got that done. You can see here, finally, I couldn't have done this without you. There was a lot of back and forth on that deal. Although it only took a week to secure and get sold, there was a lot of conversations that happened. So again, for me, super important to be available for these guys so they can reach out, ask questions. We can tackle any obstacles together, which is why they're able to get these results so quickly. So that's Milani. Who else have we got here? We've got Ken and Quran. Again, these guys sold 4 rent-to-rent deals together just recently, 4 rent-to-rent HMOs. So Ken actually secured the deals from a landlord directly using the steps that I teach. And Quran sold all 4 of those deals to one of his investors on his qualified investor list. Both of these guys are members of the program. absolutely crushed it, and they made 10 grand. You can see here where the investor paid them the 7,500 when he signed the agreement, and then about a week later he paid the remaining 2,500. Crazy, right? This literally took them just over a week to do. So again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier, right? Some of you guys mentioned having the goal of making £10,000 per month, right? And I said to you, it's very realistic. Well, look, you're seeing people doing it in less than a month, 2 weeks. We also have my client Charlie here. Can everybody see Charlie on the screen? Give me a yes if you can see Charlie. Sold his first rent-to-rent deal within 4 weeks of joining the program. Can everyone see that? Perfect. Okay, brilliant. So this is Charlie. Charlie actually works with me now. I actually hired him. He's part of my team. So absolutely crushed it. I was in awe at his work rate, right? So he joined the program, I believe the first year I launched it, actually, 2021, and just hit the ground running. Started from scratch. He did have some experience in property, but it was as a landlord. So he'd never been a deal sourcer. He didn't even know really what rent to rent was, but he wanted to get involved in property and start making some lump sums. Stumbled across me in Facebook, like I imagine all of you guys have, and ended up working with me. And within his first 4 weeks, you can see here, my first deal wrapped up, guys, just finishing my 4th week, pretty good going, which was amazing. And he said, lots of help with you, mate. And then if we fast forward to a year later, 2022, he was, and still is, hitting 10K months with no problems at all. So this was, great finish to the week, just sold another deal. And I said to him, that's got to be another 10K month, surely. He said, yes, mate. Normal months, to be honest. I've sold 4 in the past 7 days. Charlie actually made 40 grand in his first 5 months of joining the program. So his first month, got things up and running, started selling, and just completely understood how to make this work and just doubled down on it. And the reason why I said I was in awe of his work rate was because Charlie was one of the only people in the program at that time that would literally wake up every single morning and message me, morning Gary, and give me like a breakdown of all of the work that he's done, sending me screenshots of him sending the messages. And so I could literally see that he was doing the work, right? He wasn't just taking the information and sitting on it like some people do. He was taking it and implementing it and then reaching back out to me whenever he was having issues. So we was jumping on calls every single day to tackle any problems, and absolutely crushed it, right? And like I said, he's now part of my team. So that was Charlie. Who else do we have here? I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible because I just want to get you guys on. Miriam is another great example, another one of my star mentees. Miriam actually started working with me during a free challenge that I'd done about a year or so ago. Some of you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you might remember. So I done a deal sourcing challenge where I kind of imitated what we do in my actual program. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have a free group. You join the group, and I'm gonna do support calls every single day. I'm going to give you guides and kind of walk you through exactly what to do. And then every day we'll jump on a call and go through any problems you're having and tackle them in real time. I done that, and Miriam was one of the people that joined that challenge and sold her first deal during that challenge, during that free challenge, made 3K and joined the program straight away. She said, look, I can see how you operate, from these daily calls. I want to carry on working with you. I need that support. So she came on board. And as you can see, fast forward, after absolutely crushing it anyway, she went and broke the record in the program and made 10K in 1 week. Absolutely smashing it. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Again, going back to what we was just saying earlier, there were some of you guys that spoke about making 10K in a month. You have people doing it in a week. This strategy is just, for me, it's the best in terms of coming into property, not having much money to invest yourself or any money to invest yourself, and being able to start making money straight away. I believe this is the only strategy in property where you can really do that, especially lump sums, 3K, 3.5K, 4K. You can't really do that anywhere else, right? And especially with rent to rent, because as you heard me mentioning to Courtney earlier, if we was trying to do that with buy to let deals or BMV deals, land deals, development deals, BRR deals, like we can do all of those, but we're never going to have the same sort of turnaround that you do when you're selling rent to rent deals. It just takes much longer, and there's a lot more that goes into getting those sales across the line in the first place, right? Rent to rent is one agreement, done, right? So yeah, it was amazing to see Miriam absolutely crush the record in the group. you'll also note that she mentions that actually, you know, that amount of work was just a lot for her to handle on her own. Of course, at that time it was just her. So we started working really closely together on building a team, which she has now, a team of VAs. You guys actually all have access to the free video that I made breaking down exactly how we done that, how I done it with Miriam and a few other people that have really scaled their business in the program. So again, that's another possibility. If you're strapped for time, but you are serious about getting this done, that's something that you can maybe think about doing. Although I do say that, you know, if you can spare an hour per day, you can do this without needing a team. I have people who have literally started working with me, implemented an hour a day, and they were able to quit their jobs. You know, we have Kieran, we have Jin, you know, the list goes on. If you look through my page and through the results, you'll see these were people who were working full time when they started working with me and went on to quit their jobs literally just based off of the money they were making from this business, right? So really powerful. I saw someone asked a question. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any questions, guys. So, oh, Courtney said, "Do you still do those challenges?" I haven't done one in a while, to be honest, but I probably will do another one at some point. You know, um, my priority really is the guys in the program. So I work with them every day. So we have with me and my team work with them every single day, 24/7. We do daily support and accountability calls. So it takes a lot of time and effort. I believe that's why these guys get the results that they're getting, especially so quickly, because they literally have someone that they can reach out to at any time and that person will be able to guide them, i.e., myself or my team, to say, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to tweak, this is what you need to change. Okay, you said that, but you should have said this. You sent this, you should have sent that, right? So that takes a lot of time and effort. Whereas if maybe if we was only speaking to these guys once or twice a week on a call and it wasn't 24/7 support, it was, you know, you send a message and we'll get back to you in a couple of days, I probably would have a lot more time to do challenges and things. But yeah, it's tight. But of course, you know, this is why I'm doing this masterclass so that you guys can get a lot of free value and take away some of the gems that these guys did before they even started working with me. Okay, so we also have Zara. Can you guys see Zara on the screen? Can you see Zara? Sold 6 deals in 1 month, made just over 10K. Can everyone see that? Brilliant. Lovely lady named Zara joined the program, started working with me just over a year or so ago. Started from scratch, complete newbie, working full time, looking for a way to make some extra money. Was actually in the process of kind of like starting her portfolio as a traditional landlord, and again, similar to you guys, stumbled across my posts and was kind of like, okay, that looks interesting. And we literally worked together every day, jumped on phone calls, you know, to make sure that she mastered this strategy and really understood how to make it work, how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And yeah, I was just stunned by the results that she started to generate actually very quickly, considering where she was starting from. So this was one of the months where she crushed it, sold 6 deals. It was actually 7 deals in the end. So she sold 5 deals, or she was just paid for 5 deals, maybe two or so weeks into that month. Week later, sold another one, and then sold actually another one not too long after that. So absolutely crushed it again, starting from scratch. That was Zara. Everyone could see Zara. Could everyone see that? Was that clear? This is Rihanna and Nath. Can everyone see that one? Rihanna and Nath. This is a couple from London that joined the program. Again, started from scratch. They actually had their business up and running. So they had kind of like registered the business and was trying to start, but they hadn't actually sold any deals yet. And similar to actually what some of you guys said in the chat earlier about just not, for whatever reason, being able to get the sales to happen, you know, find serious investors. So again, we started working together every day, 24/7, to make sure that they could get things up and running properly. And they joined the program in December. This post was from February. So you can see here, hey guys, I know we've been quiet. Nathan and I sold 2 deals this week and 3 last month. So just a post for motivation for everyone. We joined in December. 2 of the deals were co-sourced. So 2 deals co-sourced, that comes to £3,000. Remember what I said? For every deal that you sell, you're paid £3,000. But if you're working with a co-sourcer on it, then you're going to split it down the middle 50-50. So they got 3,000 for the 2 deals. And then they had another 3 deals that they sold directly. So they didn't have to split the 3. So that was 9 grand, £3,000 each. So you do the maths. They walked away with 12 grand, less than 2 months. Absolutely amazing. Again, starting from scratch. So that was Rihanna and Nath. Let me kind of go through these a little bit quicker now, guys. So we also had Tarun here. This is Tarun. Can everyone see that? Tarun, 4K in 4 days. So basically £1,000 a day for that week. Can everyone see that on the screen? He said, hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I just sold 1 deal last week, Friday, and 2nd deal today. 1 was co-source, 2nd was my own. He was paid 1,500 and 2,500. Gave them a little discount. Again, like I said, whenever you're working with a client on multiple deals, you know, it's good to give them a discount. So this was someone who was going to be working with him on multiple deals. He was going to take multiple deals from him. So he gave him a little discount, £500. Still walked away with 4 grand that week, which was amazing. And went on to sell more deals that month. So that's Tarun. Who else do we have here? We have Harry, young Harry. So Harry joined the program. He was about 20 years old at the time. Very ambitious. Reminded me of myself a lot, actually, because I was similar to him. I was quite young, early 20s when I started. So I took him on board. He joined the program, got his head down, started working really hard, started selling deals very quickly. And then this was when he broke the record in the group by selling a deal and being paid £3,000 within 2 hours of sending it out. Absolutely crazy. So this was an investor that he had already sold a deal to previously, since joining the program. So he had sold a deal, everything went well. He got a really good review from him. And then just happens that when he sends out another batch of deals sometime after, this investor sees it and just based off of the last sale was happy to just buy the deal from him without it. He actually didn't even go and view it. So he just kind of said, look, I trust you, Harry. I remember how the other deals went. I'll take it before anyone else does, and then we'll sort out the viewings and stuff after. And he took it up front. Really, really good. And he's still buying deals from Harry till this day, right? Till this day, which is amazing. And that was a record in the group. So £3,000 within 2 hours. So again, when we think back to what some of you guys' goals are, you know, 1 sale a month. Look at that. Prime example. That was 1 sale in 2 hours, right? You don't need to wait a whole month. You can do it very, very quickly if you lay the foundations properly. And then last but not least is Samir, lovely guy, joined the program, complete newbie. Can you guys see that, Samir, on the screen? Give me a yes if you can see Samir. Perfect. Thank you, Linda. So this is Samir. Again, as you can see here, hi, Gary. Sold multiple deals using your system. Can't thank you enough, mate. I've just caught up with Samir not too long ago. Still smashing it. Still selling multiple deals per month. Still using the same strategy. You know, really, really powerful. So I think you guys kind of get the picture, right? Like I said, we could literally sit here and go through example after example after example. But I think you get the point. These guys are all coming from the same place as you. They're starting from scratch. There's nobody in that list that I just showed you that was already selling deals and, you know, smashing it and making a lot of money from deal sourcing. All of them, similar to yourself, have started from square one, right? So it's very important that you understand that you can do this too. You know, honestly, there's no reason why you guys can't do this too. All that needs to happen is you need to educate yourself and understand how this works, right? So that's what I'm going to go through with you right now. So what I'm going to show you, just give me 1 second, screen's moving a little bit slow. I'm just going to show you the actual funnel that we use and that all of those guys above used to get those results and make that money, starting from scratch. And also what I'm going to do is I want to invite one of you guys on. Why is this still moving up? Just give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Let's get this screen sorted. And then I'm going to get you on and we're going to go through this in real time. Okay. So I think it was Zika. I'll start with Zika and then I'll speak with Linda afterwards, and then if we've got time, I'll go around and speak with some others as well. Zika, can you come off mute? Zika, are you able to come off mute for a second?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
There you are. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Hi, Zika, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Let's just close this whiteboard a second, because for some reason...
I can hear you.
Okay, for some reason, the whiteboard is making everything go slow. It
That's
seems
fine.
to
I
fed
can
up
hear
now.
you.
Okay, perfect. You can hear me. Perfect. Firstly, Happy New Year. How are you getting on so far in the new year?
I
Everything
wish
going
you
okay?
the same. Funny enough, you were the first person that sent me a message on Facebook this year. You know,
Really?
telling me about your masterclass and everything. If I could do,
Oh, wow.
I think you sent me an email last year. No, you sent me a message last year, but because
Okay.
I was very busy, because I shuffle both work, school, and deal sourcing.
Okay.
So it's too much. Yeah, I do three things at a time, and I'm also a mom of one. I've got a son.
Okay.
So it's too
Right.
much.
I know how it goes. I've got a 2-year-old and a 13-year-old, so I know exactly how it goes.
My son is 14, so
Right. Yeah, I know how it goes. So you're juggling everything at the
yeah,
moment.
everything, school, work, so family and deal sourcing.
Okay. Okay.
So the first 2 deals I sold was through a friend.
Okay.
So I wouldn't lie to you, I had no company. I've not even set up any company yet.
Okay.
So setting up a company is one of my challenges.
Okay.
And I was able to, get investors on Facebook. And
Right.
I had some of this deals from landlords and vendors. So they send me emails with deals that they've got.
Okay.
Then I get some of my deals from Gumtree as well.
Okay.
So the problem now is, like I said, I don't have a company yet. I've not set up my company yet.
Yeah.
But trying to sell the deal to investors,
Right.
I've had some of them go behind me. A lot of them go behind me.
A lot of them.
Because they would
Right,
say to
okay.
me, to send them pictures. So I
Right.
send them the pictures, they go to Google and start looking for the source where it came from. So sometimes these landlords or the vendors, they can't be patient enough for me to bring the investors. So what they do, they go put them online.
Right.
So people get access to them. Do you get it?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. So they're
Then
uploading them.
So
They're
there was
uploading
this
them
other
themselves,
one.
basically. They're advertising them themselves, you're saying.
So I also give them some of them, I give them the postcode ahead of, they probably want to know where the property is located. So I give
Yes.
them the postcode, and like I said, they go behind. So that was part of the challenges I had.
Okay. Let's unpack it all, starting from the beginning, right? I can see people in the comments talking about NDAs and things like that. We'll get to that in a second, because of course, yeah, that's important. You need to protect yourself in these deals. But
I know, but the problem is you getting a well-written NDA. I don't know if you understand, because there's so many NDAs flying around.
Yeah, but again, it's where are you getting your NDA from? Is it, like you said, has it been written up properly? Is it
And signing NDA doesn't mean they wouldn't go behind you, because I've had 2 people sign NDA and they went behind. So not as if you would.
One second. This is the thing. I always say to people, an NDA won't stop someone going behind your back, but nothing will stop someone going behind your back. We can't physically stop someone from cutting us out. If that person is the type of person to cut you out of a deal, whether you sign that agreement or not, potentially that's what.
Did you see what Tinu wrote? Did you read what Tinu wrote? This exact thing that Tinu wrote happened to me.
Zika, one sec. Let's not talk over each other. Let's make it nice and smooth,
sorry.
right? So if you haven't got an NDA signed, you're in a worse off position if you're dealing with someone that's going to try and cut you out. So I always say to people who say, well, is there any point having an NDA signed because they can still try and cut me out? Well, I say, well, think about the situation. Will you be better off with or without something in writing? That's how you have to look at it, you know? And if they were to cut you out, yes, if your NDA is written up properly, then they are liable. They have to pay you the fee, right? And I know it's headache to go through the legal process and pursue them legally, but guys, this is business. This is real business. You're getting legally binding documents signed. If things go wrong, you have to do it the correct way. You know, it's unfortunate that we can't kind of like sort of, I guess, see up front who would and wouldn't do that. But honestly, the only way you're going to protect yourself potentially is to get an NDA signed, you know? So yeah, I see what Tino said. The same things happened to her. Don't worry, we're going to go through all of this. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to strip it all back. And because even before you get to that point where someone could potentially cut you out, we need to make sure everything else is even being done properly first, you know? So are you still there, Zika?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So first things first, Facebook groups, free Facebook groups, especially rent to rent. Are you just focusing on rent to rent, or are you trying to do other types of deals as well?
Rent to rent. That's rent to rent, rent to SA, just rent to rent. I don't.
Rent to rent. Okay.
Yeah.
How
Because I
many?
get loads of blocks at times, so it's rent to rent. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. How many rent to rent Facebook groups are you in?
I would say 20.
Okay, that's actually not bad. Zika, actually, are you? So I know as you're watching this masterclass, are you on from your phone or your computer?
My computer.
Okay, have you got your phone to hand?
Yes, I do.
All right, because I want you to maybe do this with me as we go along.
Okay.
Of course, you're gonna have to do it on your phone whilst you're watching this from your laptop. But
Okay.
what I want you to do is this is just a quick exercise just to show you what I mean, right? Because
Okay.
let me put it into context for you. I'm in probably about 150, maybe even more rent to rent Facebook groups, roughly.
Oh, wow.
Right? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And what that does is every time I go into my Facebook, just literally go into the app and open it, all I see is opportunities. I see deals being posted, countless deals being posted. I see investors expressing interest in the deals. I see co-sourcers struggling to sell deals, which is obviously valuable for me if I've got buyers that might take those deals. So I see all of that sort of stuff just by me going into the app because I'm part of those groups. It just comes up in my feed. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like super important. And I always trying to explain to people that when you're trying to do business, rather than trying to get everybody that you want to do business with to come to you, the easiest way to do business is to figure out where everyone you want to do business is hanging out and just go there, right? And for us as rent to rent deal sourcers, the biggest rent to rent community online is on Facebook in the groups. I've done the research. I've looked into it. LinkedIn doesn't have the same presence in terms of, like groups of 40,000, 20,000, 10,000, actually slightly more in some cases, specifically targeted to rent, and everyone in that group is just talking about rent to rent. When you look on LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok or all these other platforms, they don't have that same community there, right? So it just makes sense for us to be on Facebook in those same groups, so we have access to all of those people, all of that data. Super important. So if you're on your phone now, just quickly go into the group section. You know where you go into where it's got like the little circle with the three little men. Can you see that?
You mean on is it on Zoom or where?
No. On Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, Facebook. Yeah. I'm
So
there. Yeah.
I've got my phone, so I can kind of see exactly how you're doing it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm on Facebook now.
Yeah. So if you go into the app, you're gonna press where it says menu on the right hand side at the bottom right hand corner. You see that?
Menu at the bottom right corner. No, when I click on my Facebook, I've got the app here. So when I click on it, it just takes me straight to my page.
Yeah.
I don't
so
get it.
Right. Yeah. You're on your page, and then in the
I'm
bottom
on my
right.
page.
Yeah, in the bottom right hand corner, it says menu, and it's got like it's a little circle, and it says menu. Can you see that? At the
No,
bottom
mine
of your
doesn't
screen.
say. Mine doesn't say many. Mine says I'll have to scroll all the way. Like I said, it's just my page, so there's nothing at the bottom where it says menu. No,
There's nothing at the bottom.
no, my one
Can
is
you see
different.
home? Can you go? Can you go home?
Home? Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, on
Press
the home
home.
now.
Press
Yeah,
home. Now at the bottom of your screen, you can see the button that said home. Yeah,
yeah, I'm there.
the top left, the bottom left hand corner.
Yeah, the bottom. Yeah, I'm there.
Right. So that's the right hand side of that, the bottom right hand corner. Can you see that where it says menu now?
Nah, my
No,
one is
that's really
different.
strange. You should see home, video, friends, marketplace, notifications, and
Mine is
then
at the top.
menu.
Mine is at the top. Sorry.
Okay, if it's at the top, no problem. But you can
Yeah,
see
so
where
I've
it says
clicked on it.
menu,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I've clicked on it. Yeah,
Press menu, then groups. You see where it says groups, and it's got the little
yeah, I'm at the
circle,
groups now.
little
Yeah,
blue circle. Press groups. You press the
yeah, I
groups, so
am.
you're in the group
Yeah,
section, yeah?
yeah.
Now, top right hand corner, on yours it might look different. It might be in the bottom corner, but just wherever the little search box is, you see the search box, the little magnifying glass looking thing?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. And guys, for the rest of you that are on the call, let me know in the chat if you're doing this whilst we're doing this, because the whole point
I'm
is,
there. Yeah.
as well as me going through it with Zika, you guys should follow it as well, right? Because we're gonna literally go through the whole process together right now. Okay. So okay, good. I can see that you guys are doing it as well. So Zika, you should be able to see. You're in the group section. You should be able to see right now all the groups you're already in. Can you see
Yeah, I
that?
can see them. Yeah, I can see them.
Perfect. Perfect. You can see a section where it says search, like another search box where you can search for more groups. All right. You see that?
At the top, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
All right. First thing I want you to type is rent to rent with the number 2. Rent to rent. No spaces. Let's type that
Yeah.
in.
I've done that.
Perfect. Can you see any rent to rent groups? Just scroll through and can you see
Yeah, I
any
can
rent?
see so many.
Yeah, but that you haven't joined yet. Can you see them?
No, yeah, they haven't joined. Yeah.
Join all of them. Press join on all of them.
Okay.
You see what I'm talking about already, can't you? That's why you're laughing. You can
Yeah.
see it, right? So just
Okay.
I was
I
just
can
saying
see.
one of the
There's so many of them. Yeah.
right now. You're absolutely right to laugh, and I get why you're laughing because you're kind of like, oh wow, I wasn't even aware of this, right?
Yeah.
Right. And the funny
Yeah,
thing
that's
is,
true.
yesterday I had a call with someone, similar conversation. She wasn't even aware that there was this many rent to rent groups, right? When I said to her that I'm in 100 plus rent to rent groups, she was like, Gary, I didn't even know there was that many groups for rent to rent. So I always say to people, if you're not exposed to something, you don't get to
You
benefit.
wouldn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't get to benefit from it because all of those people in those examples that I just showed you guys above, right? The 3K per week, 2K per 3K per day, 3K in 2 hours, 40 grand in 5 months, all of those results, and then all the rest that you guys can go and look for yourself in the group and on my Facebook page, the hundreds of plus of examples. They found those people, those exact same people that bought those deals from them in these groups that I'm telling you to join, right? So
Wow.
now let's think. If you're not in those groups, how do you end up speaking to those people? How do you end up speaking to the serious investors that are sitting in those groups? You don't, because you're not exposed to them. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So this is really important. So I'm glad that you're seeing it. So just take a second. You don't have to do them all now because there's a lot.
No,
So
I'll do it later. Don't worry. I'll do
yeah.
it later. Yeah.
Right. So you're just gonna scroll through and hit join. You can join a couple of them right now while
I'm
you're
just
there.
counting the ones I am in. I'm actually on 50. I'm on 50. I've just counted it now. 50
Good.
so far. Yeah.
Good. Okay, perfect. Guys, anyone else doing this exercise with us that is seeing more groups than they realized was even out there? Are you seeing groups that you're not part of? Give me a yes. If you're already in all of these groups, which I know none of you are, because there's so many of them, but if you're already in all of these groups, give me a yes. If you're not and you're just finding more groups, write it in the chat, right? And maybe give me an idea of how many groups you're already in currently. And you guys can already see just from what Zika told you, right? There's tons of them. If you scroll through, you're going to see hundreds of groups specifically targeted to rent. We need to be in those spaces, guys, right? Literally. It would be like a barber going and hanging out going to somewhere where they know everybody who's growing their hair and needs a haircut soon is hanging out in one place. They're all chilling in this one building, in one place together, having conversations. If you're a barber, you know that's the place to go. If I want to get some haircuts and make some money, I'll just go there. That's where they all are. It's the exact same theory. We just need to be in the groups so that we're within close proximity of the investors, the co-sourcers, the landlords, the agents, everybody that's actively involved in this business. They're going to be in these groups, right? So that's the first thing I want all of you to do. Has everybody done that? Everybody that's getting involved, just give me a yes if you are. Give me a yes if you're joining more groups right now. And even if you're not joining them right now and you're going to join them later, just give me a yes, just so I know that everybody's clear on what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. Is there anybody who is struggling to find the group section or struggling to just do what I've explained there? Anybody having any issues with that? Let me know so I can maybe repeat it and go through it again. Linda, you're having issues with it, or you're doing it now? Is that what you mean? Haven't got on iPad. Okay, no problem. You can do it after, Linda. You don't have to do it literally right this second, guys. But I just want you to maybe just have a look, just so you know where to go back to when you do get the time to do it. So I'll just repeat it again very quickly, then I'll move on with Zika. In your Facebook app, if you're doing it on your app, it's going to maybe look different to if you're doing it from your laptop or if you're doing it from your phone, from the internet, you know, rather than doing it from the app. But either way, on Facebook, if you go to home, you'll see a button that says menu, right? It normally is in the same line as where the home button is. Press menu, and then when you press menu, you're going to see groups, and it's got like a little blue circle with 3 little men or maybe women all bunched up into it, and it says groups. You can't really go wrong. It literally is titled groups. If you press that, it's going to bring you to a section that is dedicated to groups on Facebook, right? And then it's going to have a section for you to search. And like you guys heard me say, you just want to type in the different phrases. So you heard me tell Zika to type in rent to rent. That's what you want to be typing in. You want to type in like rent to rent with the word to. You want to type in R2SA, R2HMO, R2R. So all of the phrases associated to rent, basically. You want to do them one by one. So you're not typing them all in at the same time and hitting enter. You're typing in rent to rent, hitting enter. And that's going to bring up all of the groups for rent to rent. Once you've joined all of them, you want to go back to the search, delete it, write in the next phrase, R2R, for example, hit enter. That's going to bring up more groups. And what you notice is as you type in the different phrases, it may look like it's just bringing up the same groups because there will be some of the same groups coming up over and over again, but new groups will pop up because the way the search facility works with Facebook is it's basing it on what's written in the title of the groups. So of course, whoever created the group, they might have only written rent to rent. They might have not have put the other phrases that are associated. So if you haven't put in rent to rent, you're not going to see that group. So that's why we have to put in the different phrases. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a yes if that makes sense. Okay, perfect. Okay. Julie said, good analogy. I'll give you just a quick one on that. I actually used to own a barbershop. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So I used to own a barbershop. So I know that these are the type of things that you need to be doing. You need to be, you know, making sure that you're either, you have two ways of doing it. Either if you're a barber that maybe is mobile, you need to be going to the places or connecting with people in the places that you know the type of people that you need, that your clients will be. Or you need to create the space where all of those people will come. But even then, you still have to advertise and find them and get them to come through the doors in the first place, right? Which is what we've done with the barbershop. So we had loads of barbers that already had actually quite a bit of clientele. We created that space and they just brought them all there. So now what happened was other barbers wanted to come and work in the shop because they could see, oh, wow, that's where there's loads of customers in there waiting for a haircut. So as a barber, it makes sense for you to go there as well, right? So it's the exact same thing with deal sourcing. We can clearly see that there are thousands of people interested in rent-to-rent deals in these groups. Why would we not want to be in there? when we're trying to sell those deals. We're trying to secure those deals and we're trying to sell them, right? And the people that we can do both of those things with are just literally in these groups. So very important. Everybody's clear on that, right? Everyone knows what they need to do. Okay, you said yes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, Zika,
Yes.
next step. Okay, so you're going to get yourself in more of these groups. The next step is, or next question for you is areas. Which areas are you covering? Which areas have you picked?
London and Newcastle. London, Newcastle, and a little bit outside London. When I mean outside London, like outskirts of London, Harrow, Surrey, and where else? That's it.
So but what? So, okay, so London, Newcastle. So basically, just London and Newcastle.
Because these are the places I'm used to. Yeah, I live in
Yeah.
Newcastle. I've just moved to Newcastle in September.
Yep.
I've always lived in London. Yeah, so I know London and Newcastle. So that's it.
Right. Okay. So okay, that's a good point you've made there, right? So you picked the areas that you're covering based on the fact that you live there, or you know
Yeah,
the
I
area
know
as
very
well.
well. Yeah, and where I know. Yeah.
Okay.
And most of my vendors are in London.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? So when you was picking London and Newcastle, did you have a look at the type of engagement they're getting, those two areas in the groups?
I only looked at that of London, but I've not really had the time to look at that of Newcastle.
Okay. Very important that you do that. Let's do that now, just very quickly, right? So you're on your phone. Just go into one of those rent-to-rent groups that you're in.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let me know when you're in there.
I'm there.
And then all you're going to do is, well, you can maybe start with Newcastle because you've looked at London already. Type Newcastle in, hit enter, and then you're going to just scroll through, because it's when you type Newcastle in, hit enter, you're in a rent-to-rent group. So it should only be bringing you up rent-to-rent deals, really.
Yeah, it's bringing them up. Yeah, Newcastle, yeah.
Right, in Newcastle. That's the thing about Facebook. It kind of does the work for us as long as we're typing the right thing in. So now you should just be seeing deals in Newcastle. Now, just from obviously you can take some more time to do this when you're off the call, you've got time. But just for this second right now, whilst we're there, just as you're quickly scrolling through, what can you see in terms of engagement? Like when there's deals being posted, are you seeing lots of comments, lots of likes? Or are you seeing deals being posted and actually there's not much engagement? There's like
I can see comments, but I can see comments, but like I said, you wouldn't compare Newcastle to London. I can see comments. People are really commenting, yeah.
No, but that's the thing. We're not. You're absolutely right. I'm not asking you to compare them. Don't compare them. You're looking at each area individually. You're basing it just on its own merit.
Yeah, I can see people. Yeah, people are really engaging, but not as much as London's one.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So I can't see your screen, but the top. So starting from the top, the first.
Okay, let me start from the top. Hold on. Let me go back again.
Yeah. Okay. And again, guys, please, for you that are listening, please do this at the same time. Like, this will help you figure out the areas you're going to cover. If you've just joined the call now, because I can see the numbers gone up, so some of you may have just joined, you've missed some of the beginning, but that's fine. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch it again when I upload it tomorrow. But okay, Zika, you're at the top.
So I'll go back to the group again, yeah. Then I'll click on any of the groups I am in, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as it's a rent-to-rent group, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm trying to look for a larger amount, because the one I clicked was a very small amount of members, probably up to 10K members or 20K members.
Fine. That's fine. That's fine. Just have a quick look. It's fine. This is something as well that I encourage you guys to do. Don't overthink it. You know, even like this exercise, because look, you go into a small group, you have a look. If you don't see what you're looking for, just go to the next group. You know, rather than saying, "Oh, this group's too small."
Let's use this one now. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Just go into that group.
Newcastle again. Then where I type Newcastle again, isn't it?
Type Newcastle in the search. Yeah. And then hit enter.
Newcastle. Okay. So I can see Deal Sourcing United. Yeah.
Okay.
So
1 second. So what I want you to do, so you've gone into the group.
Yeah.
You're in a group. Yeah. And what group are you in, by the way?
Deal Sourcers United.
Okay, not in that group. That's actually my group. Not in
that
really?
group.
Yeah. I actually own that group. The reason why I say not that group is because that one is specifically targeted to co-sourcing. So you're not going to get many
Okay. Let me look for another one.
investors.
1 minute. Let me just
Yeah,
look for another one. Yeah, don't worry.
because what we're trying to figure out with this exercise is the areas that are getting the most demand from investors, because that's who's
Okay.
important. For us as deal sourcers, the only opinion that's important, well, at this stage anyway, is the investors, because they're the people that buy the deal from us, they pay us. So we want to know which areas are they interested in, right?
This one
So
has
yes.
got okay. This one has got 13K members.
Okay.
But funny enough, this one is Newcastle group. It's a Newcastle group. Yeah,
Okay.
group, yeah.
And it's a Newcastle rent-to-rent group?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a quick look. No
So
problem. Go into it.
I'm there now.
Okay. Now it's Newcastle, so it should only really be Newcastle deals. Is that what you're seeing, or
Yeah, that's what I'm
some other
seeing
deals
here.
as well?
Yeah, this is, and they've got 13,000 members. So
okay, 13,000 members.
yeah.
I want you to the first deal you can see, the first rent-to-rent deal you can see. Can you see it?
Property to rent. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
This is it's definitely rent-to-rent. Yeah, it's not Newcastle just rental.
No. I think it's Newcastle rental. Sorry, I need to go into rent to rent one. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Sure. No, that's fine. This is why I love doing this, because look, you could have very easily went into that and thought it was the right group, had a look,
that's true.
right? This is what people do sometimes. They go, because you
I've gone into another one here and I've typed Newcastle. Okay, so yeah, that's it. This is it. Yeah.
You're in a rent-to-rent group now, yeah?
Yeah. So it says rent to SA.
What's the name of the group?
Rent to rent deals, rent to rent SA deals and lease options deals, deal sourcing.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's fine. We'll have a look at that one. The first rent-to-rent deal you can see for Newcastle. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, how many comments has it got?
3.
3 comments. How many likes?
Yeah. 1.
Okay, next one. Next rent-to-rent deal you can see in Newcastle. How many comments and likes?
2. 7 likes, 2 comments.
7 likes, 2 comments. Okay, next one. How many can you see? How many likes and comments?
1 comment. I mean, sorry, one like, no comment.
Next one.
2 likes, 1 comment.
Next one.
1 comment, no likes.
Right. So
I can see, yeah, no engagement.
That's 5 of them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now what I want you to do is, because you're in that group's only showing Newcastle, so it's not you can't look at other areas really. Go into another group just quickly. So literally, you just need to go back to the group section and just go into the next rent-to-rent group that you're in. Are you in the rent-to-rent group that's got 40,000 people in it?
The 40,000 one.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, hold on. Let me look at that one.
It's like the biggest one. It's called rent-to-rent deals, SA and lease option deals, and it's got
rent-to-rent
members.
SA. No, I'm not on that one now.
Can you see it though? Can you see
that
one?
I've not joined. No, I haven't joined that one.
All right. Okay, it's probably not the best one to use then. What can you see another group to join or to
rent-to-rent deals, SA and lease options? That one has got 40K.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
that's the one. You're in that one?
I've just seen it now. Yeah, I'm in that one. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's use that one.
Okay.
Type in Newcastle.
Newcastle.
We're gonna just check it again quickly.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
You typed Newcastle, yeah?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. First post you can see. How many comments? How many likes?
1 like, 5 comments.
1 like, 5 comments. Okay. Next one.
10 likes, 39 comments.
39 comments, 10 likes. Yeah. Okay, good. Next one.
7 likes, 18 comments.
Okay, next one.
9 likes, 18 comments.
Okay, next one.
Sorry, 1 minute. 1 like, 2 comments.
Okay, so what you can see, I mean, big difference from the other group, right?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Which is why it's worth doing that. And I would encourage you to like keep scrolling. I know I'm only getting you to look at like 5 or 6 comments, but already you can kind of see, okay, there is some demand there, right? There is some demand, because when it's getting posted, it's getting the comments, it's getting some likes. You're absolutely right that you can't compare it to London. That's why I said to you, just don't compare them to each other, because if you're comparing anything to London or, you know, some of the bigger areas like Birmingham, for example, if you're comparing anything to those, it's always going to look like there's no point in the other ones, right? So you've got to take them all on their own individual merit. So for Newcastle, if you decide, okay, I want to focus on Newcastle, I always advise to do that little bit of research for whatever area you guys are considering, because you have to remember that you do not need to travel to these properties. You do not need to go and meet these investors, meet these landlords. You can do this all 100% remotely. So when you've got that in mind, you realize that you don't need to pick the areas that you live in or the areas that you're living close to or you know well. Really, you need to look. If you've got an area in mind, like you've said with Newcastle, check it out first, right? And if you can't see that there's demand there, you shouldn't go for it, basically. You should always just go for the areas where there's already demand there. It's going to make your life 10 times easier, right? I think Newcastle, you'll be fine. London, we don't even need to check. We already know London, you know, it's probably got the most demand out of all of the areas, to be honest. So you've already picked a good one there.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
When I was in London, one of the vendors insisted I have to come with my investors.
When you was in London, one of the vendors
one of my vendors insisted that I have to come with the investors to view.
Okay,
so
why? Why? What was the reason?
Go view with them for the viewing.
Yeah, why? What was their reason? Did they say
because
why?
I apparently I gave the investor their number to call them. They said no. That they want every
why did you give the investor their number to call them?
I asked her the reason. Sorry, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was going to give the investor their number to call them. Why they go there to view the property? Because I'm not going to go. They have to call them, isn't it? But
no.
They said no. So how do they get to go view? Sorry.
You have to. You oversee the whole process, so they don't need to. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, you can give them each other's numbers just in case something happens and you can't be involved. But really, you have to take control. For example, if I'm arranging a viewing, ideally, I want, if landlord needs to speak to anyone, call me. If investor wants to speak to anyone, call me. I want to be the middle person, so I've got full control of what's going on.
The vendor refused. He said I have to be there with the. He said I have to be there with the investor. The vendor refused.
That's not what we're saying. We're not talking. We're going to go to that in a sec, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you being the middle ground between the investor and the landlord. So that means you can't just give them each other's number and say communicate and figure it out on the day. You have to be the person that if the investor's running late, they call you, or because you're overseeing it, you're aware that they're running late because you know, okay, my viewing's happening at 1 p.m. It's 12:30 now. Haven't heard from anyone. It's your job to call. Hey, Gary, how's it going? Are you still on your way to the viewing? Is everything on track? You have to take the reins and do that. Same thing with the landlord. You have to contact them. Hey, Gary, morning. Look, we've got that viewing at 1 p.m. today. Is everything still okay for that? Are we still okay for that time? You have to take control of it. The amount of deals that fall out of bed because people just hand the phone numbers over and say, you guys figure it out and pay me when it's done. It doesn't happen that way. Yes, you might get the odd investor and landlord that are very organized and they're happy to kind of like just do everything themselves without the person in the middle. But 9 times out of 10, most people are expecting us, because we've approached them and we've made the proposal and we've told the investor we're going to find them the deal and we're going to oversee it. That's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So to help you out, what I would suggest in a situation like that, well, actually, look, let's go back. What was their reason why they was
He gave me no reason. He gave me no reason when I asked. He said nothing. He said to me that's their policy, that I will have to come with my investor.
Whose policy? The landlord said this.
The vendor. That if your investor is coming to you, vendor.
When you're saying, are you talking about a sale?
No, rent to rent. It was actually rent to. They were going to rent it for supported living.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I said, when I said the landlord, that's what, because then you don't call a landlord is a person that's got the property and they want to put a tenant in. When you say vendor, you're talking about someone selling the property. It's more
when I'm talking about the agents, that's selling it.
Agent?
Yeah.
But the agent isn't the vendor.
The agents are the ones that
the estate agent. You're talking about the estate agent.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got the estate agent who is estate agent, right?
He said I will have to come with the
Zika, you're cutting out. We can't hear you.
he was insisted that I will have to come with the investors.
The agent was insistent on that.
Yeah, he was insisting that I'll have to come with the vendors.
Okay. Again, I don't know what that reason was for. And this is the thing, guys. This is why I always talk about communication is super important. Me personally, if someone turns around and says to me, you have to physically be there at the viewing with your client, I'm gonna say, okay, out of interest, why? Is there a reason? And again, I started in 2011. I've sold hundreds of deals, and out of those hundreds, I've probably been to a handful of viewings. All of those sales that I just showed you above with all of those guys, none of them went to those viewings. None, not even one. They never went to one viewing. They never went and met the investor, met the landlord, met the agent, nothing. But that's because we're communicating in a certain way. Let me ask you a question. When you first took that deal on, the one you're talking about, Zika.
Yeah.
When you took that, so walk me through how you took that deal on.
Okay, like I said to you, I got that deal on Gumtree. So I rang them up and asked them if the deal was still available. And they said yes. So they asked if it was for me or am I the investor or for someone else. I said to them it was for my investor. I'm just a deal sourcer. So he asked me to get the investor's company name because they want to know the company name and what else? And the email address. So what I did was to give them my own email address, then give them the investor's company name.
Right.
So
okay.
they got back to me later with the viewing details and everything. So I said to them, okay, on that day, I'm going to give the investor the address for the viewing. Then on that day, what I'll have to do is just to monitor the investor on call. And he said to me, no, that will have to be there. And funny enough, when I got there, there were other deal sources there that came with their investors. So he said to me, that's their policy.
It's very strange. This doesn't sound like a traditional agent to me because you found them on Gumtree and you're saying that they asked you straight away about whether or not it's whether it's you staying there or whether it's somebody else.
So
and it sounds like they were already. Was they advertising this as a rent to rent?
Rent to supported living.
That's how they were advertising it on Gumtree.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a traditional tenant, and that's not your traditional. That sounds like a rare occasion where you've ended up speaking with someone who's already doing rent to rent. So maybe the reason why that person was quite like digging their heels in about you being there is because they're worried. Okay, if you send someone else, am I going to be cut out? Is it, you wasn't dealing with a normal agent or landlord from the sound.
Like I said, I wasn't the only deal sourcer there. The other deal sourcers were there with their investors.
Okay, well,
we're about 4 of us.
Okay, strange, but again, I mean, look,
I understand.
It's about communication. I've always just been super transparent with my agents and landlords.
But funny enough, the two I sold I never visited the property. I wasn't there. I did not go there.
Right.
The two properties I sold, yeah. So
two
deals I sold.
I'm always super transparent with the agents and landlords, right? So, for example, if I'm selling a deal outside, I'm in London. So if I'm selling a deal outside of London, Birmingham, for example, I'm just honest with them. I let them know, look, I'm in London. It doesn't make sense for me to come all the way up there because it's my client that's taking the property on. So they need to see it. It's what's important is their eyes seeing it. That's why I'm saying to you, you have to ask them, just out of interest, why is it important for me to be there? Just, is there any particular reason? They might have a reason. They might have gone through something. There's a reason. But when you really think about it, right? And I'll tell you actually the reason why I stopped doing viewings is because many years ago, I had a conversation with one of my best clients that I sold a lot of deals to. And I just asked him, does it even matter if I'm present at a viewing? Because every single investor is going to view the property before they pull the trigger on it. They're never going to base it off of just you viewing it if you viewed it, right? So even if you go and view it, Zika, when you present the deal to them, they're still going to say, can I go and view it? So now we're viewing the property twice. Why? There's no relevance of us seeing it, right? So you have to communicate that in a certain way, though. You have to have those conversations. So that's why I was digging a little bit deeper, because it just didn't sound like a normal agent conversation, landlord conversation. And clearly it wasn't, because he's advertising it as a rent to rent already on Gumtree. Now, if we're talking about a traditional agent who's just looking for a traditional tenant and advertising it looking for a normal AST or a landlord, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to say that to you. They're not going to mind, because as far as they're concerned, all they're interested in is who are the people that are actually taking the property on, and that's who they really want to meet. To be honest, there's no relevance in them meeting us. We're not the person taking it on. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yeah. So okay, I think in terms of the areas, just going back to where we was, so in terms of Facebook groups, you definitely need to get into more Facebook groups. In terms of areas, you've picked London and Newcastle. I just wanted to say as well, there's nothing wrong with only covering one area. I've got people that are really doing well in just one area, and actually I find that a lot of people kind of struggle to juggle more than one area, which is why in my strategy I always talk about it being 3 areas maximum, because I just know people get burnt out very quickly and overwhelmed if they're trying to juggle multiple things. So there's nothing wrong with just covering one area. Zika, how are you, just moving on to the next part, qualified investor list, how is your list looking for both areas? How many qualified investors do you have for London and qualified investors for Newcastle?
London, I've got 10. Then for Newcastle, just 2. Like I said, I've just moved to Newcastle.
Okay.
So I've got just 2 in Newcastle, but London, I've got up to 10 of them in London.
10 qualified, yeah? You've had
10, yeah.
You've had phone calls with every single one?
Yeah, everything, yeah.
Qualifying questions, they've all answered them good?
Yes, they are, yeah.
Okay, good, brilliant.
I have
Good,
their
good.
company names and everything, yeah.
That's fine, good. Okay, okay, so qualified investor list. So for the other guys who maybe haven't got their list to there just yet, what you would be doing is you'd be going into those same 3 Facebook groups that I've asked you all to join, specifically targeted to rent, right? There's no point in us being in just basic property groups, guys, because when we try and do the searches in the search box, it's not going to give us the information that we need. You're going to still have to troll through loads of other posts, because obviously that group isn't targeted to rent. So that's why I'm saying to you, get yourself in the rent to rent ones specifically, and there's hundreds of them. So you don't need to be in those other ones really. But once you're in those groups, what you're going to do is go into the search box inside the group. You're going to type the area that you're deciding to go with. So you guys just saw, I went through with Zika how you should figure out which area you're going to pick. So if you've got an area in mind, you can type it in, go into each of the groups, scroll through, see the engagement, see the comments, and you'll be able to see clear as day, is it worth me covering this area or not? Once you've decided, you're going to go back into those groups and you're going to type the areas in one by one. So let's say for Zika, it would be London. So Zika can just type London in the search, hit enter, and it's going to bring up all of the deals that have ever been posted in that group in London. Right? Is that what you done, Zika, to get the 10?
Yeah, I'm doing that now, yeah.
That's what you done? Okay.
Yeah, I've done that now, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you done before? Is that how you got the 10?
No, yeah. That's what I've done. Yeah.
Okay, so you type it in, you're scrolling through. Are you seeing, out of interest, are you seeing more posts and comments and stuff?
Yeah, more posts and comment, yeah.
Right. You see what I mean? Quick
Yeah.
tip as well, Zika, just to help you, just to give you a visual reminder of what you've already seen. You might already been doing this, but just in case you're not, and for the rest of you guys, whenever you see a post and you're going to go into the post and reach out to the investors that have expressed interest in that deal because it's in your area, right? Do a heart on the post. You know when you heart the post?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
You know when you like a post, but it comes up as like
a post. Yeah.
So like the post.
Okay.
And that's your visual reminder. So every time you come back into this group and you type in London and hit enter, Facebook's algorithm is going to show you the properties in different orders, right? So today you might see this post at the top, but tomorrow if you type London and hit enter, it might be 10 posts down. So it can be like a little bit confusing when you're just kind of like looking at it from the outside. But if you've liked the post, you know you've seen it already now.
Yeah, see what I mean? I can see it. Yeah.
Right. That's also, when you go into the comments on that post and you are responding, or well, not responding, guys, you're sending a direct message to each of the people who are expressing interest in that deal, right? But like their comments as well.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean, Zika? So you might see, let's say you saw me comment, you go in, you send me a direct message, right? And this is what you'd be messaging your investors, guys. So you'd be saying, hey Gary, hope you're well. I just saw that you was interested in rent-to-rent deals in London. Are you still looking for deals like that at the moment? You'd say something along those lines. You can change it up a little bit. And the two non-negotiables are just making sure that you mention that you saw that they expressed interest in a rent-to-rent deal and in what area it was in. Those, you must say that. Very important. Reason why I say it's important is because Facebook's so big, you just never know where else they've commented expressing interest in other types of deals. So if you just say, hey, I saw you was interested in a deal, you might confuse them. They might think, oh, okay, well, I expressed interest in 10 different types of deals, right? So we want to be super clear. I saw that you was interested in a rent-to-rent deal in London. Still looking for deals like that at the moment? So that's what you want to be sending them. But when you've typed the area in and hit enter and you scroll through Zika, like I said, leave those visual reminders for yourself, okay? So that every time you come back, it's clear as day what work you've already done. You know, it's very easy to keep tabs on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me just answer some questions quickly here, and then we'll carry on. So I'm getting a lot of messages. Let's just see. Hey, Nikki, I can see Nikki's joined. Linda, so Linda said, do I join new groups separately when I add all different titles to pull up groups? You join all of the groups, Linda. So because you're talking about joining a group. So just quick rewind. When you go into the groups, the Facebook group section, you're going to type in, what are we doing here? You're going to type in all the different phrases associated. Okay. So rent to rent, R2SA, etc. One by one. When you type, let's say you type the first one and you hit enter, it's going to bring up a list of all the groups. Just join each one. Join. Right? Don't overthink it. Just join all of them. As long as it's a rent-to-rent group. So, of course, you've got to read the title to make sure it is an actual rent-to-rent group. And then just join, right? Join as many of them as possible. Okay, so I'm not too sure exactly what your question was, but I believe what you're asking is, should you join them all in one go, or just join them one by one? I hope that helps. There's not a way that you can do it in one go, if that's what you're asking, like one button joins all of them. No, you actually have to go through and press join on each one. I think that's what you mean, Linda. I'm going to speak to you in a second, Linda, anyway, so we'll go over it again in a minute, but I hope that makes sense, right? Who else do we have? So Tinu said, please help share your qualifying questions. I will be giving everybody the qualifying questions after, no problem. Don't you worry about that. Very straightforward. Who else do we say? Tinu said, how long will I'm not too sure how long the call's going to last. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody's questions answered. So not too sure, but this is being recorded, so you can watch it back if you need to leave. No problem. Cassie said, how much demand? Well, you'll be able to see, Cassie, honestly, certain areas you're going to look and they're not getting any comments, or they might get one comment, one like, no likes, right? You'll be able to like see it clear as day. Whereas you just saw when Zika went through that group, she could see, 39 comments, 18 comments, 20 comments, right? You look at London, Birmingham, some of the ones that are like in huge demand, the big cities, some of them have 50, 60, 100 comments. So you'll be able to see the clear difference between the ones that actually have some demand and the ones that clearly are struggling to get the demand. But again, me and Zika have just done that very quickly, just a quick scroll through a couple of posts. You need to actually go through these groups. Just have a good scroll through and you'll be able to see. Even if you look at one or two groups, you'll be able to tell just from those, right? Especially if you're looking in the bigger groups like that one with 40,000, because it's got 40,000 members, it's got tons of data. It's perfect for figuring out which areas you're going to cover, right? So go and have a look at those. If you're struggling to figure it out, reach out to me and I'm more than happy to give you some tips, okay? Terry has a question. Write your question in the chat, Terry, and I'll answer it.
Gary, quick question.
Terry, one sec. Guys, we have to keep some order, please, right? Can you just write it in the chat and then I can answer it, or I can bring you on and speak to you after? Yeah? Please, guys, it's so much easier if we all just like do it in a certain way, because it just gets messy and then everybody starts talking. Okay. Who else had a question? Let me make sure I'm answering them. And again, because everyone's asking questions in the chat, I don't want to skip people out. So let me just make sure I'm answering everyone. And if you need to come on the call, I'll bring you on, no problem. Okay, who else do we have? So Julie said, I'm originally from Newcastle. Okay, so again, Julie, don't base it on the fact that you live there. Do that research, look and see the demand, right? Remember, guys, we don't have to travel to these properties, right? So, you know, it's normal for, of course, people to think, let me pick an area that's close to where I live. So it's just convenient if I need to travel back and forth. You don't want to do that because you're not going to have to travel back and forth, right? Strictly based on where can I clearly see there are loads of investors actively interested in deals, right? The easy way is to just go with obviously the big cities, but I always advise, even when you're going to pick the big cities, just do this research yourself. It takes a few minutes, you know, just so you can see it for yourself why you're even covering those areas. Okay. Qualifying questions will be uploaded. Don't you worry. And then Judy said, are we looking for certain types of properties in particular, e.g. HMOs, or are standard non-HMO rentals also our target? Right, we're going to get to that in a second. But whilst, as you've asked the question, we're looking for any properties, any rentals. Again, don't overthink it. I always say to people, you know, with the way that we're doing things, you can't really be kind of like pigeonholing yourself to a certain type of property because you're building qualified lists, extensive lists of all different types of people who are looking for all different types of deals. So just keep it, you know, straightforward. I am looking for rent to rent opportunities, and that could be any type of property as long as it's, of course, residential. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that, honestly. Now, when it gets to the stage where you're speaking with landlords about properties, and let's say, for example, it's supposed to be for a HMO, you're going to ask the right questions to make sure that the HMO license in place, or the HMO license is in place, or the property is compliant for HMO, right? That's about the individual properties as you're working through them. But in terms of our search, when we're like going on Gumtree and looking through the posts, for example, we're not looking for a certain type of deal, right? I'm happy to speak to every landlord who has a property, a residential property available in that city that I'm covering. And just off the back of that, I'm going to get opportunities. And then from there, we start discussing it with our investors on our list. And that's where you see the magic happen, right? Does that make sense? Who asked? Julie. Does that make sense, Julie? I hope that makes sense. If not, I'll revisit it and I'll maybe get you on a call. Yeah. Nikki said Birmingham looks steady. You're absolutely right. Birmingham is hot. We sell a lot of deals in Birmingham. A lot of those sales that I showed you above are actually in Birmingham. Birmingham's really hot. Birmingham, London, Manchester, Liverpool, Nottingham, Coventry. You guys will see this for yourself when you look in the groups, but you know that's kind of like the common knowledge in the industry, is that these are the areas that are getting a ton of demand. So Terry said, Gary, when you call a landlord and they ask who will be renting the property, what do you say? So I tell them that it's, in fact, I'll come back to you in a second, Terry, but just to answer this question, we're telling them, we're 100% transparent. We don't actually lie. You know, I know there's some mentors out there that encourage people to pretend that you're the investor, you're taking the property on, but we are 100% transparent. Excuse me. So we're clear that it's not us taking it on, it's our client. Our clients are the companies that rent these properties. They have their own tenants and guests. They vet their own tenants and guests. They manage their own tenants and guests. They handle all maintenance, etc., etc., etc. We give them all the benefits. If they have concerns about the type of tenants that our clients are going to have, which is maybe what you're asking, right? You asking about the companies, you're talking about the actual tenants. If they're asking about that, again, we just explain to them that, look, of course, it's going to depend on which client takes on the property, because different clients operate their units in different ways, right? But whichever one it is, they will be vetting their tenants thoroughly, because, of course, there is no benefit to them to have people in the properties that are going to damage them or cause nuisance, because they lose those properties. If they breach that contract, you, Mr. Landlord, can take the property back almost straight away. It's like 14 days. And they lose out on that money. They lose out on that relationship. So the last thing they want is to allow any and everyone to stay in the property. So there's a process. There's a due process. Of course, there's professional cleans that happen regularly as well. And we just kind of give them a whole breakdown of how the property is going to be used, essentially. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, Terry. Okay. And Tinu said, what is bespoke sourcing? Bespoke sourcing is essentially where you are specifically going and finding that type of deal for that client. So I might say to you, Tinu, okay, I want a 2-bed rent to SA in such and such part of London, right? And I might actually even pay you the money up front. I don't think that's a good way to operate. Personally, we don't take money up front, but that's the way some people operate. And they'll take the money and they'll go off and specifically try to find that type of deal. The problem for me with that approach is, one, it's too small. It's thinking too small. I take that money from you. Now I'm obligated to go and find a deal just for you that has to fit that criteria. And I think that it's too risky. The problem is I find 5 of those opportunities that I think fit that deal or fit your criteria. If you don't take those 5, I'm kind of stuck. I have to go back and find more investors anyway, when I've put all my time and energy into trying to find these for you. So you're much better off having an extensive qualified list of investors that are all looking for deals in the same place. So as you can see here, we're actually at this point what I'm discussing with Zika, the qualified investor list, right? It involves having investors that are all looking for deals in the same place. So let's say for Zika, she's covering London, right? So she's got 10 qualified investors all looking in London for a rent-to-rent deal. So what happens now is when she goes out and she gets a deal, whether it comes from a co-sourcer, an agent, a landlord, as long as it's a rent-to-rent deal in London, she has 10 people that she can discuss the deal with that she's already pre-qualified. So she doesn't have to worry about whether they're serious or not, tire kickers. She's already aware that they are looking for these types of deals. 9 times out of 10, if you've got a list built in that way, you're going to have people on your list that are interested. Now, whether or not it ends up being a sale or not, of course, every opportunity is different, right? It's not to say that every deal sells, of course, but the point is you increase your odds significantly of selling a deal when you have a qualified list rather than just trying to find deals for one person. Does that make sense, Tinu? Perfect. Okay, thumbs up. Perfect. All right. Linda said 1 at a time. Yes, just press join as you go through. Just scroll through and press join, Linda. It literally it's very quick. You don't have to go into the groups or anything like that. You can just literally scroll through and join as you're scrolling through. The join button is right there. Should be able to see it. Okay. Okay. Nikki said, are you on Instagram? Yes, I am. Gary Walker on Instagram. But I don't really use my Instagram, I'll be honest with you. Facebook is really where it's at for me. So yeah, you're better off following me on Facebook if you're not already. Terry, yeah, okay. Tinu said, the sourcer says to do a bespoke service, the investor gives me a commitment fee of £1,000 for me to work for them on a one-to-one basis. So I wouldn't do that, Tinu. Very risky. Very risky. Like I said, you take that £1,000 from that client, you go out, put all your eggs in one basket trying to find them a deal. What if they don't take any of the deals that you send them? Guess what? You have to give them that £1,000 back, right? And start from scratch and find more investors and kind of go again anyway. Doesn't make sense. It's flawed. You're better off starting with your investors first, building the list, going out, finding the deals, and selling them to the investors on your list. You don't have to focus on one person because you're not taking money up front from anyone. When there's a deal that multiple people are interested in, you're not obligated to hold it for one person because you haven't taken money up. It's a case of whoever's interested needs to move the quickest, right? So you can create real urgency. With somebody that's paid you £1,000 or however many thousands up front, and you're now going out to find them deals, there's no urgency because in their mind, I've paid you already. So you have to do what I want you to do and I'll move as quickly as I want to, right? And then if they change their mind, they want the money back. Whereas with our approach, the only time we see the money is when both parties are happy with the agreement and they've signed. That's when we're paid. So actually, there's never a situation where we have to give the money back because we're only paid when the deal is actually complete and that money is now actually owed to us, essentially. In these transactions, when the investor and the landlord sign that final lease agreement, now that investor essentially owes you that sourcing fee. It's liable, it's payable, it should be paid to you almost straight away. You need to invoice them and get paid, right? Completely different situation when you take money up front. That money is not yours. You can't do anything with that money until an actual deal happens and it's complete. Prior to that, you are in limbo. At any minute, they can turn around and say, do you know what, Gary, change my mind, can I have my money back? Right? And that's the difference. So I would focus on building a list first, building that rapport and relationship with those people, and then selling deals to them. There's nobody in that list that I just showed you above, or any of the people I've taught, who are doing a bespoke service where they've taken money up front. Not one of them. And look at the money that those guys are making, right? Significant difference. I'm not too sure if you was on the call at the start when I was going through the examples, Tinu. So if you didn't, then apologies. When you watch the replay, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I've just shown you guys examples of numerous people hitting 10K months, some people 10K weeks, 3K day, 3K weeks, multiple 10K per month. None of those people are taking money up front. And they are completing those deals in a week or less than a week in 9 out of 10 of those examples. So just trust me, I've been around the block. I know exactly how this business really works. I know it like the back of my hand. And yeah, I've not seen anything good really come from people taking money up front. So I would advise to stay away from it personally. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. Zika. Sorry, Zika. I know I lost you a bit.
That's fine. That's okay.
Right. So qualified investor list. You've got 10.
Yeah, and Newcastle one is 2.
Yeah. How are you feeling about Newcastle though? Is it growing? Are you getting traction there, or do you feel like you just got
there
more
might be
activity?
opportunities here, you know?
Do you feel like you're getting more?
There might be opportunities here, yeah, because there are demands on because what I intend doing is probably making enough money on sourcing. Then I would invest in service accommodation. There are loads of opportunities for service accommodation here because they've got 2 universities.
And, I know. Yeah, but you're focusing on the wrong thing.
So for now, it's just London for me, and Newcastle. Like I said, I'm just breaking in, so I wouldn't say, but I can see opportunities. That's the only thing I can say for now.
Okay, so your focus. So the main focus at the moment is London, right?
London, yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I think you should just focus on London for now. If you feel like, taking units on, because you're looking, what I was saying just a second ago was, when you're looking at those opportunities, you're looking through like an investor's eyes. Those opportunities you're seeing in Newcastle or wherever you're seeing them, you're looking at them in the sense of like, okay, I could take them on and I could do such and such. But you don't want to look at it that way. You want to look at it from is there an demand in terms of investors way, right? Which we've kind of just done together, and I know you're gonna continue doing. But I think for now, just focus on London. You've got 10 investors. That's a really good place to start from. And most of my people have started selling deals either just before or when they get to 10 investors. So I know that that's the right number to really start getting results at.
Perfect. Thank you.
So yeah, I think London's good. All right. So then in terms of activity, like in terms of deals, because you've got the investors now, so all you need to be doing is feeding them the deals. What's your network looking like? How many co-sources do you have for London that you're actively working with?
I have 2, but I had this very good one that was really engaging, but all of a sudden she just ghosted me.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened, but she just.
So you had 2. Okay.
Yeah, I had to.
Definitely need more than 2. 100%.
Okay.
You need more than 2. Your network is your net worth. So
if
you don't have people that are constantly sending you deals, or even if they're not remembering to send you the deals, if you don't have people that you can catch up with, touch base with every week to extract deals, you're going to struggle because you're not going to have enough to put in front of that list. Do you see what I mean? So
I'm on WhatsApp group though where they post some properties.
Yeah,
but one thing about it.
But that's a group. I'm talking about your actual relationships with co-sources.
Okay, no, I don't. It's just to, like I said, just to.
Just 2. Okay, that's fine. You can very quickly change that. That's not a problem. So let me show you how to change that. And again, guys, follow through. You guys do the same. So quickly go back into those. I just want you to see in real time what I'm talking about. Go back into one of those groups. One of those.
Okay. I'll go back to the 40,000 one.
Yeah, you can use that same one again if you want. London's your area, so type London again in the search box.
Okay, 1 minute. Sorry.
You guys.
Okay, this one is 18,000. Let me use this one.
Okay.
Okay. London.
Yeah.
I've done that.
This is a rent to rent, another rent to rent one, yeah?
Yeah, rent to rent, yeah.
Okay. London, hit enter, and then you're gonna same thing. You'll see the posts come up. Can you see the posts?
Yeah, they're up, yeah.
Okay. The person who posted those deals. So, for example, the first deal you can see. Can you see the name of the person who posted the deal?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, what's the name?
Catherine, Olivia, Alexander.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Catherine, the next post down, the person who posted that one, the next post down, every post you can see, all of those people who posted those deals, you need to reach out to. You need those people in your network. Reason being, wow. They are actively selling, or they were at some point, hopefully they still are, selling rent-to-rent deals already in your area in London. Okay. Now what happens, and the fact that they're posting those deals in the group is always a good sign. It's not always 100%, but in a lot of cases, it's a good sign that actually that person doesn't have a list to sell deals to. That's why they're having to depend on the groups, right? That's not always the case, because I also advise the guys to, even, when you send the deals out to your list, you can still post it in the groups as well. We want as many eyes on them as possible, but we go to the list first, right? But most of these deal sources that you're going to see in these groups posting the deals in your area, they haven't got a list at all. They are literally depending on posting the deals in the group, and hopefully a serious investor sees it and takes it, right? I know, because a lot of these guys reach out to me, so I know exactly what their struggles are. And the problem is they don't have the list. So this is where you come in.
Oh, okay.
This is where you come in, because now you can reach out to all of those people who you've seen have posted deals. And let's say you saw me. You say, hey, Gary, how's it going? Look, I saw you was posting rent-to-rent deals in London before. Are you still covering the area? Do you still have any deals available? Are you happy to co-source, right? You strike that relationship with them straight away. And now you want to build a network of these people. So every Monday, you are able to literally go to your network of London co-sourcers and either WhatsApp or call or text all of them to find out what they have for that week, right? And even just that exercise alone is going to help you generate way more deals than you're generating at the moment, which is, of course, is what you need, right? With 10 investors on your list, you should be selling more deals, but I would imagine that some of that is about not having enough deals to put in front of them. That will make a big difference, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see quite a few people for London that have posted
deals.
Yeah,
I can see. Yeah, there are lots of them. Yeah.
And bearing in mind as well, Zika, you're looking in one group. That's just one. Just imagine, you go into all those groups, there's literally hundreds of co-sources. Now, don't get me wrong, not every co-sourcer is going to be good to work with. Of course, some of them are going to be bad at communicating. Some of them aren't even really going to know what they're doing. They haven't invested in their education. They're just kind of like blagging it. So you have to, of course, kind of like qualify even your co-sources, to be honest. I give my guys a extensive qualification checklist, even for co-sources, right? We qualify investors, co-sources, even the agents to a certain extent. But when you're having the conversations with them, you're going to kind of be able to fill them out and see whether it's worth working with them or not. But that's the first step, is at least reaching out in the first place to find out whether they're still covering that area, whether they've got any more deals available, and whether they're happy to work with you moving forward, right? So just fire those messages out to them, and you'll see that network build really, really quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Guys, for the other guys, are you guys doing that as well? Can you see what I'm talking about? Just let me know in the chat if you're looking through the group, seeing that there's loads of other sources that you guys can work with. You can benefit from selling their deals as well as your own deals. The reason why you can kind of see from the diagram, right? The reason why I've done it in this order is because, well, firstly, we build the list, right? And then now we need to feed the list. So rather than going the long route, which is calling loads of landlords, hearing loads of no's before we get that first deal secured, same thing with the agents, having loads of conversation with agents, hearing loads of no's before we strike that relationship, you can go straight to a co-sourcer and get a deal immediately. You know, it's the quickest way for you to start getting deals. The other ways take a little bit longer. So you want to kind of like mix the two. I want deals coming in from co-sourcers nice and quickly, consistently, whilst I've got opportunities coming in from agents who are saying, look, this landlord is open to what you're proposing. And I've also got direct deals being secured from the landlords on Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, Pre-Loved, etc. So you kind of balance all of them. But first things first, that network of co-sourcers, Zika, need to work on that. Yeah?
Yeah, thank you. I will. Thank you.
And then next one is agents. Have you got to the agents yet? Have you started speaking with agents?
A few of them, not much. A few.
How are you getting? Like, how's it gone so far?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I've got some friendly ones. Not bad. Yeah.
Good. So you've had a few that have said they're happy to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they sending?
And they send me emails as soon as they get the deals come through to their decks. They send me emails quickly. They email them to me. Yeah.
Good. Anything coming recently, like or this week at all?
I've got 3 at the moment.
From agents?
Yeah, from agents.
Okay, good. What's happening with them? They've come in, you've already done your DDs on them and you've gone back with an offer?
I'm still doing that because one came in on Tuesday, then the other 2 came in yesterday. So I'm still doing my work on it, yeah.
Okay. This is London?
Arrow.
For London, okay. Okay. What is it, when you say you're still doing your work on it, what is it you're doing?
Okay, one of the investors asked me to hold on 1 minute.
Oh, you sent them out to the investors already?
No, just one person. So there was a question he asked, yeah, for the particular one that was sent on Tuesday. So that's what I'm working on now. And then as soon as I'm done for the other 2, what I try to do is to find out, because some of the prices are the rent prices are quite high, like 5-bed going for 4,500.
Right.
So I will need to know if they could negotiate, like if the investor can negotiate one. And also what type of the area where it is, what they've got around the areas, amenities and the rest of it, if it's very close to the hospital. And I just want to know where the property, because like you said, I'm not going to view it myself. So 1 minute, one of the investors, I'm just trying to find out what she asked. Oh, sorry. She sent me a message 1 minute.
So have you actually secured the deal?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So there was something she asked me to find out from the agent. So that was a message I was trying to read out for you, but I can't find it now.
Right, okay.
So as soon as I get that message, the response from the agent, I'll forward it, I would let her know, then we'll pick it up from there.
What about the others? What's the situation with the other ones?
Like I said, the rent is quite high. For me, I think the rents are quite high. And I noticed that one of the pictures are still being refurbished. So I need to find out how long the work is going to take.
Okay. Are you struggling to get that information from them? The only reason why I'm asking is because normally it's quite a quick like turnaround. You said these were sent to you a couple of days ago?
Yesterday, just yesterday.
Two were
sent yesterday, one on Tuesday. So the 2 that were sent yesterday was in the evening.
Yeah.
So I reached out to the guy today, but I've been very busy today.
Yeah.
To chase him up. So the only message he sent to me was, Zeke, I'm going to get back to you soon, shortly.
Okay, what about the Tuesday one?
So I think he's trying to. The Tuesday one is the one I'm still speaking to the my investor. Yeah.
Speak to the rest of your investors as well. Don't just base it on one. I would get on the phone to my other 9 investors for London.
She demanded for something similar to that, so that was the reason I chose to get in touch with her first.
Say that again. She
requested for something similar to that.
Yeah, I know, but regardless, this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Never put all your eggs in one basket. You're just thinking about one investor. You've got 10 investors for London.
Because she requested for something, so I'm okay. That's fine. Okay.
No, that's right though. You're right that if she's specifically asked for something in London and you've got it, of course, discuss it with her. but discuss it with everyone. Don't just discuss it with the one person, because if she turns around and says, I'm not going for it, what's your next step? What do you have to do?
Oh, that's true. I'll just put it out there for other investors.
You'd have to go to the rest anyway, wouldn't you? Yeah. So kill two birds with one stone. And in fact, actually, it's better for you because you create some urgency. If she thinks that she has first dibs before you discuss it with anybody else, then yeah, she might drag her feet on it a little bit. Maybe not always, but sometimes. Whereas if people know that there's multiple people interested, they move a little bit quicker. And again, like I said, you never ever want to focus on serving one investor. It has to be the whole list, because the rest of the list's opinion is just as important as that one person. Although I know they've said specifically, this is what I'm looking for, but trust me, there's other people on that list that might turn around and say, actually, this fits exactly what I'm looking for as well. No matter what they said initially on the first call, right? So this is why I always encourage people, communicate with your list. And on top of that as well, Zika, you have to remember that this isn't just about selling a deal immediately to your clients, right? It's relationship building. Every single time that you jump on a call with your investors, whether they say yes or no to the deal, you're just adding another layer of rapport, trust, familiarity. You know, if you speak with them 3 times, by the time you get to the 4th, if that right deal's there, they trust you enough that they're just going to take it. They're not going to second guess it, right? On that first engagement, sometimes people are standoffish. You know, we're still a stranger. There's not that relationship, that rapport yet. So as well as them being unsure about the deal, they might still be unsure about us as well. And you don't want that. You want the only issue, if there is one, to be the deal. Me, you're fine with, because the way that I've approached you, the ice is broken. You're comfortable working with me. You know I'm a real person. You've been qualified to a certain extent, right? So now it's just a deal. So yeah, so what I would suggest you do, if you get time tomorrow, for example, give all of the investors on your list. There's only 9 more, so these are quick calls.
9 more, yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's going to answer the phone straight away and things like that. So it'll be quick. Give them all a quick call. Hey, how's it going? Just wanted to have a quick chat with you about an opportunity that I've got, which I believe you might be interested in. And you can tell them some more information. But what I want you to do is be fully transparent, Zika. Tell them this deal is not agreed yet, right? I'm still working on it. Me and the landlord are going back and forth on the numbers. All I want to know from you really is, what's your thoughts? What price would this need to be at, or what would the numbers need to look like for it to be an attractive deal for you? And all you're doing there is you're just leveraging the list that you've already built. Most deal sources don't even have that luxury to go and speak to a list of people that they've already qualified to ask them what they think about a deal and help them kind of wrap it up. Because now the investors are going to say, well, Zika, if you can get it agreed at this price, I'd be interested. Or if you can get it at this price, I'd be interested. So now you're generating interest before the deal's even secured up front. Same way that one investor said to you, such and such, you can now work off of all 10, you know, for example, if you were to say they're interested. And that's way more data. That helps, because now you can go, okay, if this one investor says you have to get it at this number, but you can't get it at that number, there might be another investor who's happy to go a little bit less.
Thank you. Yeah.
With all of them, you have to leverage your list as much as possible. That's the whole point of building the list, you know. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it makes sense. Good. Yeah, thanks.
Perfect. Okay, so qualified investor list, you've got 10. Continue growing it. Still message more investors. You've got so many at your fingertips, so it's worth doing, and you'll find even more serious ones. Network. You started speaking with co-sourcers, agents. You're starting to speak to. So opportunities are coming in. Like I said, try and if there's ever a deal that you're unsure about, make use of those investors. Have the conversation. Just be honest with them. Let them know the deal's not secured yet. You know, you're just working on it. Or if the deal is secured, of course, tell them. The next step, of course, is landlords. How are you getting on with landlords? Are you having direct conversations yet with landlords?
Not really.
Not yet? Okay.
No, not really, no.
Okay, that's fine. Well, when you get to that stage, right? I think you mentioned earlier, you know about Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace. Guys, any classified website, really.
Open rent.
Anywhere where a landlord can advertise the property themselves, you want to be on that platform, reaching out to landlords that have properties available in your area or areas, depending on what, whichever ones you pick. Somebody mentioned earlier about types of properties to reach out about. I think it was Julie. Again, when you're doing these searches, don't even worry about that. I don't even change the filter. I'll be honest with you. I just put the area, as long as it's obviously rental and direct to landlord, I'm reaching out and I'm starting the conversation. I'll tell you guys something funny, right? And this is why I'm so big on not overthinking it, picking up the phone. The worst you'll hear is no. Trying to kind of guess who's the perfect person to speak to about a deal or like that never works, right? You got to be bullish and just have conversation. So me and one of the mentees, Kent, we done a call out session. I do a weekly workshop where we get on the phone and we call agents, landlords, investors, co-sources, whichever exercise we're doing live together, right? Just to show the guys how I handle objections, how we're closing deals, how we're doing it in real time. And we done a call out session to landlords on Gumtree, and random ad, just another ad. There was no clear difference from it. It was just another. This one was an apartment, a flat in London, that we called, and we ended up speaking with what we thought was just one apartment in the building. We end up speaking to the owner of the whole building, the actual freeholder of the building, right? They put their number on Gumtree. We ended up on the phone with them. Ken ended up taking on those units. I think the one first, and then went on to take more in the building, and obviously now has that relationship with that owner. So whenever there's any that become available in the building, as long as he keeps doing a good job, he can continue working with them. That was someone we just found on Gumtree for free. This was live on Zoom together with the rest of the group. When we came off that call, everybody was stunned, right? Literally, oh my God, I can't believe that. Because you have people all the time, oh, how do you find developers? How do you find this? How do you find landlords that are motivated? Speak to people, have to communicate, pick up the phone, ask the right questions, right? Question actually for you, and hopefully will help you out, Zika. What's going to be your approach when you start speaking with the landlords? Like, what are you planning to ask them when you get them on the phone or message them, for example?
I would ask them how they are and probably introduce myself. I'm a sourcer, like I'm property sourcing. And I've got investors at hand who would like to rent the property.
Yeah.
And the property would be rented out like rent to rent. So is this something he's looking at doing?
Right.
Or something he might be interested in?
Right. Okay. I'm glad I've asked you this question because I want to make sure that you get this right. Okay. Few things you mentioned just now, which you shouldn't mention. Okay. First thing, you're calling your clients investors to the landlord, right? We don't want to position our clients as investors. I know they are investors and we call them investors, but it's a bit confusing for landlords when we approach them saying our investors are interested. Because remember, we're speaking to landlords. They're expecting, when they put their properties on the market, they're looking for someone that's renting the property, going to live there. So they're expecting that particular profile of person, right? Now we come across and we're saying, okay, we want you to rent to this type of person. Well, we want to make it as clear as possible for them without any confusion. So rather than calling them investors, which sounds like someone that's going to buy the property when this person's not trying to sell the property, call them your clients. Just say your clients. So my clients would be interested in this property. Who's your clients? My clients are companies that are going to rent the property. And of course, then we go into the rest of the information. But that's one tweak. Never call your clients investors to the landlords, not even to the agents as well, right? Also, rent to rent. You mentioned rent to rent. You don't want to use the word rent to rent when you're speaking to an agent, to a landlord, sorry, right?
Okay.
You can confuse them. Again, they're not used to this way of filling their property. They're just used to families, traditional tenants, taking it on an AST and living there. So we're approaching them with something different. We want to make it as easy for them to understand as possible. So what I like to say is, even I don't like to say corporate let or rent to rent or company let or anything that they're not likely to understand, because that's all investor jargon. Those are the words we use when we speak to an investor. For a landlord, I want to make it super easy for them to digest. So I just ask, are you okay with a company renting the property? Right? Makes it really easy for them to understand.
Oh, okay.
Even if they don't fully understand what we mean by a company renting a property, it kind of is what it says on the tin, right? A company renting their property. So usually what happens is that just encourages them to be curious. Oh, okay, how does that work? Right? I've never heard of that before, or I've never rented to a company before. Can you tell me a bit more about it? So then now we can go into how it works, the benefits, and kind of show them the value. Whereas when we say rent to rent's got such a bad name, right? Unfortunately, in the other parts of the property industry, right? When you go and look in certain other um property groups, right? The way they talk down on rent to rent, right? It's kind of got a bit of a stigma attached to it. There's nothing wrong with rent to rent at all. But of course, people have their opinions. Now, if you're going to put that in front of a landlord who doesn't really know the business, they don't really understand how this all works, and maybe they've heard that stigma attached to rent, the last thing you want is to like throw that word out there and then scare them off. You're better off breaking it down for them in the easiest way possible. Like I said, are you okay with a company renting this property? Right? Or can a company rent this property? Just asking those simple questions makes all the difference. And honestly, literally, this is how we secure deals. We just have those straightforward conversations. We make it clear who we are. We're not trying to pretend that we're the ones taking it on. We're super transparent. And that allows us to secure tons of deals directly from landlords. So just changing that language, Zika, make a huge difference. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes. Gary,
Mhm.
with the agents here, I use the word company let, and they, they understand and they deal with me. You
Yeah.
get me?
Yeah. Yeah, the agents are more likely to know what you're talking
Okay.
about, right? Because the agents are in the industry, so they're being approached all the time by people like us and investors that are trying to go direct. So they hear these buzzwords. Not every agent's going to know what you're talking about when you say it. Not everyone, but most will, especially nowadays, right? Whereas remember, a landlord, especially a landlord who this is their only property, they put the property on the market, they get that influx of inquiries, the property gets filled, and then that's it. They're not really speaking to people again consistently about that property. So they're not necessarily always going to hear that word, right? So it's important to make sure that the landlords understand. Agents are a little bit different. They're a little bit more savvy, you know. But even some of the agents that know about rent to rent and corporate let, company let, some of them are a little bit funny about doing it too. You probably experienced that. Some of them shut it down. They're just not up for it, you know, for different reasons. Maybe bad experiences in the past with other people. But with the landlords, again, like I said, especially landlords who like this is their only property. We're not talking about portfolio landlords who have like loads of properties and maybe are constantly in the market speaking to people so they know about this. It's the ones that have like one unit, maybe 2 units. In a lot of cases, they're not going to be aware of these words. So we want to make it super easy to understand. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Okay. So, all right. So if we just quickly go back and just like recap, first thing that we went through was making sure that you're in the free Facebook groups, rent to rent specific. I think at the time you was in about 20 or so. And like you saw, there's hundreds, right? So you're gonna join those when you get a chance. Yeah, Zika?
Yeah, I will. Definitely tonight.
Yeah, brilliant. And then the areas, I think we're clear on, rather than you trying to cover London and Newcastle at the same time, maybe it makes more sense to focus on London where you're getting some traction. And then
Yeah.
later on, you can add Newcastle. When you sell some more deals, you might decide, okay, I want to add another area. But I think try and get things right with London first, get some more sales under your belt, and then add another area. And then we have the qualified investor list. You've got 10 investors in London, which is brilliant, using the steps that I teach, which is great. I'm really glad to see you're implementing it and it's working, qualifying them, get on calls, asking the right questions. The list is there. But like I said, you need to leverage the list more. So don't try and serve one individual on that list. Everybody should basically be treated the same. When there's a deal in London, it goes to everyone for London. Let them tell you no. If because sometimes people don't send it out to everyone on the list because they're like, that person might not be interested.
Might not, yeah.
Right. That's what everyone does, to be honest. But my guys are always so shocked when I get on the phone with their whole investor list, because I literally do the follow-up calls for them so they can see it, right? Get on the phone, I call them. so sorry, Gary, I didn't even see that message that you sent. Didn't see that message. Or so sorry, Gary, I saw it, but I was so busy, didn't get a chance to respond, right? So us getting on the phone and speaking to them literally shows why it's so important for that deal to be sent to everyone on the list, because people that you wouldn't expect to be interested all of a sudden are interested, right? So
Yeah.
very important. So that's the list. And then network as well. You had about two co-sources for London, which is a bad place to start, but definitely need more. You need that network. Like I said to you earlier, your network is your net worth. Literally, that is real. You know, if you haven't got enough people helping you make this work, because that's what your network does, right? You guys, win-win relationship. You're helping them, they're helping you. And if you haven't got enough people helping you in this business, then it's a struggle. It does become a struggle because you're constantly having to be out there trying to find deals for yourself. Yes, you want deals for yourself, but at the same time, you want to be able to every week know that Gary, Cassie, Terry, Linda, etc., 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 all these people in the network are also providing deals for you as well. So you don't even have to speak to landlords or agents. That's basically happening regardless, right? The deals are coming in regardless of whether you're speaking to landlords or not. That's where you need the business to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Thank you.
Zuba, I can see your message. Don't worry, I'll come to you in a second. Let me just finish this. So where was we? So network, co-sources, agents. I think you're kind of starting with, but I think you know now how to kind of approach them. Where are you finding your agents, by the way? I don't think I asked you that.
For the agents, some of them I found on Gumtree, Rightmove, and OpenRent. These 3 places.
Okay, let me help you, give you a more direct approach, right? Not to say those other approaches are wrong, but what I find is that when you're approaching landlords about agents about a specific property, if it doesn't work out with that property, they kind of like shut you down, and it's like you can't really do much from that. It's kind of like either it's working with this property or nothing, sort of thing. I think your approach should be direct. So the way we do it is we get on. In fact, let me help you. So just quickly, Zika, go on Google on your phone.
Okay, I'm there.
The rest of you guys do the same. I want you to type in small independent letting agents London. You're covering London, so that's why you're doing that. For you guys, if you're doing a different area, small independent letting agents, and then the area that you're covering. Did you do that? You saw that?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Right? And then if you scroll down, let me do it with you at the same time, actually. So small independent. Look, it comes up straight away. Right. So scroll down to where you see the part that says places or businesses.
1 minute.
Can you see it? And it's got like a little map with like a list of all the little agents. Can you see that? If you just scroll down slightly.
On Google, yeah?
On Google. So you type what I just said, hit enter, and then scroll down until you see a map. Can you see a map with like little pinpoints on it showing you?
At the bottom. Or where?
So as you, I don't know if you can see it on my screen. You probably can't see it on my screen. Oh, yeah, you can. You see like that? Can you see the little
map? Yeah, your one is different from my one. I think I'll have to click the maps here.
Right?
Yeah.
So all I literally done was just type what I just told you to into Google. I hit enter, I scroll down, and it literally brings me up, like I said, a map. You should all see the same thing. And then if you click on the map, so just tap the map.
I've seen the map, yes, yeah.
Tap the map.
Yeah.
And then scroll down, and you'll see a list of every small independent agent. Can you see that? It's giving you a list.
Yeah, I've seen all the lists. Yeah.
Right.
So many of them, yeah.
From now on,
Stamon Estate, Martin. Yeah, I've seen all of them. Yeah.
So from now, so there's
Independent London Limited, Story Home. Oh wow, thank you.
So now what I was gonna say is now you can use this as for your call out sessions. So rather than you having to go to Gumtree, to OpenRent, to this, to that, to try and find different properties where an agent's advertising it and try and speak with them that way, just use this list. This is your list now. Just check them off as you go through each one as you call them and work your way through it until you've got a good amount in your network, right? You're doing London, so there's tons in London.
There's so many
I'm
of
looking at the
them. Yeah.
Birmingham one right now. Again, Birmingham's another one that's got. I mean, most cities have got loads of small agents.
There's
By the
so
way,
many of them. Yes, so
yeah,
many.
the reason why I'm saying small independent agents as well, specifically, is because those guys are more open to working with people like us, with deal sources, you know, especially when it comes to rent, because they're small offices. You know, it's funny, if you used to actually go to a lot of these agents, you'll find it's like a little small office with maybe 1 or 2 people in there. They're not huge companies, right? So they need volume. They need to fill these units. They need to get these properties off their books. So they're more open to working with you. Whereas when you try and work with like the big estate agent chains, in a lot of those in a lot of cases, they're not open to it because the policy doesn't allow them to do that, you know, just across all of the agents as a whole. Whereas the small, you know, this is our only office, we're just trying to keep afloat, you know, those guys are usually more open to working with you. And of course, agents have landlords literally chucking properties at them left, right, and center. So you need to have those relationships, you know, especially in those areas that you're covering. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Yeah, and you can see them. So now you can use that. You can use that every time you want to, you know, find more agents to add to your network. Just go back to that list and just work your way through. And just call all of them up. Those phone numbers take you straight to their office. When you call them up, just ask to speak with the lettings manager or whoever deals with corporate let in the office.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
then have that conversation, and if they still do it, then great. You know, ask them if you can be added to their mailing list. Always take down the name, phone number, email address of the person who's dealing with corporate lets in the office, because again, similar to what I said to you about the network, you being able to reach out to them every week, you want to be able to do the exact same thing with the agents as well. So you want to be able to call up that office and say, oh, can I speak with Gary, for example? If I was the lettings manager, can I speak with Gary? Right? Like, you're trying to build that relationship with me in particular, right? So that whenever there's opportunities, hopefully you're going to think of me, you know, because we've built that relationship. So that's another way that you can do it. Just go direct, Zika. You're going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I think, yes, we covered the agents, we covered the landlords. Was there anything that you was unsure about in terms of moving forward so that we can increase where you?
I initially wanted to join your I said I was going to call you, like, you know, do the one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
Was talk about the NDA, the you know, the contract you give out to the investor.
Yes.
The signed contract, yeah. And also company, how to open my company. Like I said, I've not opened my company yet. You won't believe it. I don't have a company yet.
Yeah, just so have you seen, you see inside the free school group? Have you seen the free school group? You're in the school group, right? You must be. That's the only.
Yeah,
that's
I am. Yeah,
I am.
Yes, I
I've
am.
posted the link to this call, so everyone on the call is from the school group.
I am.
In that group, in the resources tab, I've given you a full breakdown compliance checklist, which shows you everything you need to do, including obviously setting up your company. So you have everything. I've literally given you a checklist of. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I'll check it when I'm done with you. I'll go check it.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
No.
So it's called resources inside.
So when I go to the school group, I'll see it there. Yeah.
Yes, but you have to go to the right tab. So when you go into the group, you need to look for.
I'm in the group now on my phone.
So are you doing it from your phone?
Yeah.
All right. So let me do. I'm gonna try and like guide you. So if you're in the group, in the free group, right?
Okay.
You can see
the school group. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, you can see community in the top left-hand corner.
1 minute, yeah. Because that was where you sent me the message from this. Oh gosh.
If you look in the, if you're in the group and you can see community, so across.
I know where the community is. I'll do that because it's not. I'm just clicking on the email you sent to me, and it's not.
Don't worry about an email. Go into the school group. I'm gonna literally take you straight to where.
Okay, I'm in the school group now. Yeah.
Yeah. So community in the top left-hand corner. You can see that.
Left-hand corner. That's good.
Top left-hand corner. You can see.
Yeah.
The word community.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've clicked on it.
Pressed it. Yeah. Okay. Then below that, you can see where it says write something.
Yeah. Write something.
Right, and then below that, you can see where it says all general discussion wins. Can you see that?
Sorry, I don't know why I clicked on it. Just taking me back. Okay. Yeah, I can see what I can see after I write something is general discussion wins.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. If you scroll to the right, next to wins, it says resources. Can you see that?
I'm just seeing the arrow there. If I click on the arrow, it's taking me out of the 1 minute. Let me do it again. I go back again. Yeah, good. Da, da, da. Oh gosh. After the discussion, yeah, I've seen it. Resources, yeah.
Right. And if you press
I've clicked on it.
Scroll right to the bottom, there's a compliance checklist there. Can you see it?
Resources. I'm just seeing you resources at the bottom. Compliance, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So when you get a chance, have a look at that. And then, yeah, just set up your company. I mean, really, you shouldn't really be doing those deals without having your company set up.
No, like I said, the first two I sold, I know the first two I sold was through well, through a friend. She recommended two people to me.
Yeah.
So that was
no, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Well, look, you've got all the information now, so you can get yourself set up properly. And then I've shown you exactly what you need to do now. Literally everything I just went through with you. I don't know. Was you taking notes? I don't know if you wrote it down.
Yeah, I had my notepad with me and my pen. I have the notes here. I have everything written down.
Yeah, genuinely, if you just follow those things, so get yourself in the rest of those Facebook groups so you have access to the data and the people. You know, you've picked your areas now. Perfect. London, you can't go wrong. Qualified investor list. You've already got 10. Make sure that they're properly qualified, Zika, and carry on building that list. And then the network, we've gone over both parts of the network. Co-sources, agents. Start with the co-sources, guys. Always start with co-sources first. It's the quickest way to start getting deals. And then obviously agents, and then finding those motivated landlords. My favorite way is to go on Gumtree because of the phone numbers, because I like to just call them. I don't really like to message them, to be honest. I mean, if you haven't got a choice, then you just do it. But I prefer to like go on Gumtree and just call every landlord that has advertised the property in London, for example, and has a phone number. I just call them, and we get much better responses from just calling them directly and having the conversation. So that's another thing that you can do. Like I said, within the program, these are all things that we do together in real time every week. So of course, when you're beginning, you're going to struggle and it's going to be a bit difficult because you don't really know what you're doing, right? And you're kind of learning as you're going along. But once you're in the program, if you decide to work with me, of course, we will do it together. So you get those 10,000 hours in, you're going to get the practice in, you're going to be more comfortable with the process, right? And if you get stuck on anything, you know that you can always reach out and we'll jump on and speak about it together. So there's no questions, nothing that you're unsure about. You're clear.
No, I'll do you an email. I'll send you a message as soon as when if I have one, I'll do that. I'll send you a message. For now, I don't have any now.
No problem. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zika, for jumping on. Let me just make sure I'm answering everyone else's questions as well before we keep it moving. Just 1 second. So we have, all right, Tinu had to shoot off. See if we've missed any questions. So I know, I think it was Zuba who had a question.
Yes,
Zuba, oh, you're off mute already. Wow. Go on, mate. What did you want to ask? Go for it.
Gary, how you doing, man? Long time.
I'm very well, mate. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, Gary. Obviously, I literally just joined the group now. I was just at the gym. I missed your episode.
Go for it.
So basically, I just want to learn for a little while now, and I know I haven't started and whatnot, but I've got a few things going on. But Gary's a man. You know, listen, work with Gary. Gary will help you. You know, I'll be following Gary, and there's no one.
You're cutting out a little bit, Zuba.
He's top guy.
You're cutting out. We're missing. We're not hearing you. You're cutting out. the reception's bad. Yeah, go on. But I think I caught some of it. Yeah, you're saying you've been following me for a while, I think.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying to the group here, the people in the group, guys, listen, work with Gary. I've been following Gary for a little while. I know, obviously, I've got my reasons. I haven't started, but I've been following Gary for a little while. Work with Gary. Gary will make you succeed, and he'll make you. He'll push you. Gary started off as an estate agent, and so work with Gary. And Gary, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm gonna catch up with you soon. I just gotta go do a few errands for home, so I'll catch you later, bro.
No problem. Did you have any questions? Specific questions?
Yeah. Just one question popped up in my mind. Co-sourcing. I know the laws have changed. To be a co-sourcer, do you have to be fully compliant as well or not? Whereas before, I know you didn't.
That's not a law that's changing. It's always been that way. It's just been a bit of a gray area around deal sourcing, especially when it comes to rent. But you've always had to be compliant, definitely, because it's like I always say to people, if you're trying to sell deals directly to investors, then you need to have AML in place because you're dealing with money. Same thing with, you're taking on deals to sell, you're taking information from landlords to do your due diligence, etc. You have to have your ICO and these things. So you've always had to be compliant, but of course there's little loopholes and gray areas where you can kind of slip through the net. I would always recommend, if you're able to, just get your compliance sorted. It's just easy. It's just
100%.
Yeah. If you can, just get it done, basically. If you're not in the position to, then obviously you can either wait until you are. It's about £1,000 all in to become fully compliant. So you can either wait till you're in that position where you can do that. You'll make that money back. You guys have seen the results, so you'll make that money back on one sale, plus profit. So it's definitely worth the investment. So yeah, I would just advise everyone, if you're in the position to get compliant, just get it sorted. As you just heard me say to Zika, there is a compliance checklist inside the free program group that you guys are all in. Make use of it. It's got the links that should take you straight to the websites that you can use to set yourself up as well. The prices are there, everything's there. So literally you have everything you need. Yeah. But okay, Zuba, is that it? That was the only question, yeah?
That was the only question, but I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, no worries. And thanks for jumping on. I appreciate the kind words as well. Really appreciate that. Okay. Zuba, Terry, I need to speak to Terry because I know Terry had some questions. Unless that was your only question, Terry. Did you want to jump on? Where's Terry? Is he still here? Terry, did you still have a question? Or was it that the only one that I answered? Okay, I don't think Terry's got any questions. Linda, are you still there, Linda?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Linda.
Hello, Gary.
How are you? You okay?
We speak at last. It's always on text.
Happy New Year again. I know we already spoke on the DMs.
What? I think I've done that about a minute past midnight or something like that. Ridiculous. So hey ho. There you go. See.
How are you getting on? Or in fact, let me open the floor to you. What are you thinking? Any questions? Anything you're unsure about? Let's go over it before we end the training. What are you thinking?
Okay. What I'm thinking is I was so confused. I don't know if you know, I'm already in a mentorship for Rent to Rent HMO SA at the moment.
But, I remember you saying.
Right. Well, this just, when I'm thinking about it now, putting it all into perspective, I was frightened to become an SA, whatever runner or whatever it is, running an SA or HMO because of I was just frightened of it, and that's probably what's made me not do it. But I love the idea of this, and I started doing what you said, doing the groups. And one night I was up till 2:30 in the morning at the weekend, and I was just because I'm not very good with Facebook. I've literally just joined Facebook. I hate.
I remember you saying that actually.
Yeah, I hate it. I've got no friends. Like even members of my family keep asking me to be their friend, and I'm like, go away. I don't want to be friends with anyone. It's just I'm only on here because of bloody Gary. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I'm on there.
Fair play. Anyway, where did you? Not to cut you, I was going to say, where did you first come across me? On Facebook?
Yeah, it must have been. It must have been Facebook. But I've just wasted so much money, Gary. I told you that. But I'm not moaning about it. You know, I believe everything happens for a reason, right?
Definitely.
And I'm on Facebook now. I'm going through the groups, and so, but I'm not really IT literate. But what you showed me tonight, it's just a bit of a bummer because I'm on my phone. And I've had to look at it on my iPad, and I haven't got the app on my iPad for Facebook. But when I get off now, I'm gonna. But I was going through them all, and I seem to. It said already joined, and I'm like, oh bloody hell! I must be up on. I must be joined loads of them. But what you've done, you've clarified it. I've had my pen and paper out, and what I need is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, etc. And I believe what you've done tonight is the value that I needed, because some mentors, they get carried away, they talk and talk and talk and talk, they use all this language, and then they assume people know what you're talking about, and then it just becomes really quite ambiguous. Whereas you've stuck to the actual steps. You've said, no, you do this with this, you do that with that, you do it. And you've just given me, I've just literally bulleted it all down. So I can't wait to get going. And I love that about you. And you haven't mentioned your course once. Trying to sell it, upsell it.
No, I haven't actually. No, you're absolutely right.
I know you haven't.
But that's firstly, I'm actually really glad to hear that you've taken notes and you're genuinely, you find it helpful, and you can see
free, it's free. And you've given me nuggets tonight.
That's what I was going to say. That's the next thing. My whole approach is, someone said to me, one of the guys in the program, like, Gary, you're helping people too much. Like, stop helping them. They're going to know what to do. And I'm like, well, the whole thing is, I'm not selling the information. So all this information I've given you today, that's not what I sell. That's not really the value to me personally, right? All of that information is kind of, you could kind of find it out anyway if you just kind of like done the work and started speaking with people. Maybe the strategy, not so much, because I had to kind of reverse engineer the strategy to realize this is the way I should do it. But just information in general, I prefer to give it away for free, like you said. Let people go and try it for themselves.
Digest it,
right? Digest it, figure it out, give it a go. Like Zika, look, Zika's taking all this information.
Oh God, good for her.
Prime example. Well done. And there's many other people who reach out to me and say, Gary, literally, I've taken what you've given me for free and I'm making money from it. They didn't even have to join the program, right? Which is my whole thing. The program for me is more about the support, actually the implementation. So it's not, here's the information, go and figure it out for yourself, which is what most programs are, right? You get the info, you go, you figure it out, and then maybe we touch base once a week, a couple of times a month, if you're lucky. My program's different. When I launched it, I thought back to when I was learning, and
exactly.
I went through, and that was the one thing that they all lacked. There wasn't real support. I couldn't literally just, if I'm dealing with a situation now, reach out to someone, and within 30 minutes, an hour, or even there and then, someone comes back to me and says, Gary, do this, and you're fine, right? Or Gary, let's jump on a call right now and go through it and call whoever we need to call, or whatever the situation is.
But you simplify. You've simplified this.
And that's it. And that's the whole point. It's a whole.
And I feel I can do it, I feel like when I'm listening to others, it's like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that. But I haven't felt that at all tonight. I'm like, God, I can do that. It's a piece of cake. I can do that. I can do, I'm not like, look, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here, but all I'm saying is the way you've explained it all. And I know about network, we all know that you need to be in a network, and I want to join your mentorship. I do. But it's
when you're ready.
When you got the money, exactly, and all my money's gone on other bloody shit training this year. Sorry about that word. Sorry.
Well, I've got so many people similar to. I think I said this to you before, Linda.
You have,
so many people in our program that have come from other programs, and to be honest, someone was just saying to me the other day, and that's why I even used the example. They're like, Gary, I came from a program where we had 2 group calls per month. 2.
I
couldn't believe it. Taking into consideration, we do group calls every day. We do support calls, check-in calls every day, well, Monday to Friday. We let them have a break on the weekend, but throughout the week, we're constantly on the phone with the guys. The support element is 24/7. So in the school app, you guys are in the free app. the free, the free group. Let me just put my charger in 1 second, guys. You guys are in the free group, but actually in the paid group, it's literally 24/7 support. So if someone's got a deal that they need help with, there's someone to help them straight away, right? Look, that is what makes all the difference. Everybody who's joined the program has told me that's what makes the difference. It's not just the information that we've given and the strategy. The strategy, of course, works as we see, but it's the fact that every single person above that have got those results, as they were going through those sales, they can reach out, Gary, look, this issue, what do I do? This problem, what do I do? They're pushing back on this. What should I say? They want this document. I haven't got it. What do I do? You have got it. Here it is. Look, you've got every document, right? Because you're part of the program. So everything that they need to actually make the deals happen and bank the money, that's where the value is. It's not, I don't think it's just the info. It's that. And I would say that that's mainly from my experience, right? I've been in it since 2011. So I've gone through every scenario. Literally every single scenario that you could probably think of in this business. So that's why I know it like the back of my hand. And then you get that value, you know, when you're working with me. So as I always say to you, Linda, as soon as you're ready, there's no rush. I know you're working with things, so and although you're not in the program, I still try and help where I can. And this is why
you've been invaluable. You've been absolutely invaluable. I can't tell you. But also, what you impressed me with saying tonight, I didn't know, is that everybody's in that network and you're buying and selling each other's deals, or no, sorry, everybody gets access to your investor list or something. So I could potentially join your mentorship and I could present deals, and people might buy them. So that would be your investors would buy them possibly. So not only would I have my own investors, but I could also have access to yours. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Perfect.
100%. And Linda, within our program, hundreds of thousands of pounds have been made just from that. Just from working with us all working together. So no co-sources outside of the group, just the co-sources in our group working together. Either I've got the deals and they've got the buyer, or they've got the buyer, etc. And they're doing deals literally just like that. I think I showed a couple of examples above, like Kent and Karan, who done the 10 grand in
co-sourcing
2 weeks. They're both they're both mentees in the group. Kent had the deals, Karan had the buyers. Like, you know, it's super valuable. Of course, like I said, your network's your net worth, right? If you haven't got access to people that can help you either get the deals or the sales, then you're going to struggle because you have to do everything yourself. And that's the last thing you do, really, in this business. It's a relationships business, definitely. You know, all the right relationships makes it move really nice and smooth.
I know.
Yeah.
And
I'm
in
glad
terms
you found
of,
it useful.
I have indeed. Last question. In terms of due diligence, do you teach all that as well? Because I mean, you know, I've rang landlords before off Gumtree. I've never gone any further, but I've rang them as well as email. But I mean, surely it's not that simple that you just ring a landlord and you say, oh right, okay, what do you want for 2.5 grand for 3 beds and 2 bath? Okay, and then you give it to your investors list. I mean, surely there's got to be negotiations in that.
Definitely. No, you're absolutely right. You have to do your due diligence, right? So of course the landlord's gonna have a number that they want. Right. And to be honest, you're kind of working from that number. So the number that they want, we go away. Of course, every deal is different. So an SA is going to look different from a HMO. But let's just say, for example, a SA. So the landlord has the rent that they want, the asking rent. We find the nightly rates. We can use Airbnb, AirDNA, right? And then we put the nightly rates into our calculations. Now in our program, we have a manual way for you to do the calculations, as in like you can literally do the calculations yourself, or you can just put them in a calculator. I'm quite old school, so I like to do it manually. But
me
a lot
too.
of people
Me too.
in a calculator. But either way, once you've got those rates, you put them in a calculator. It's going to show you whether or not, based on what that landlord is asking for every month, is this deal going to cash flow positively or negatively? If it's showing up that it's going to be cash flowing negatively, that's our cue to go back to the landlord and start seeing whether they'd be open to reducing the rent, right? So it's a good question you've asked, because don't get me wrong, there probably are some deal sources who don't even do this part, right? I've put a post out about it before where, you know, the difference between a deal and a lead. You know, a deal is that, what I've just said to you, I've gone, I've taken the
negotiated,
I've gone away, I've done the due diligence. Yeah, I've come back with a proposal. And then once the landlord said, you know what, I'm happy with that amount, I've got it in writing. So it's like a form, I've formally secured this deal now, right? With something called the heads of terms document. Whereas what some other deal sources do is they don't even do that back and forth. They just call the landlord. If the landlord says he's open to a company renting it, you know, sometimes they don't even have that convo. But if they do, then they straight away they just go to the investors and try and sell the deal, to sell the opportunity. But they're trying to sell it as though it's a deal, right? Where and that's the difference. So yeah, I think once you understand the difference and you know how to do your numbers properly, it isn't difficult at all. You know, it's very straightforward. But again, these are things that I work with you on a day-to-day basis. Every deal that comes your way that we need to do the numbers on, we will literally jump on a call together and go through them.
And roughly then, how long is it when your landlords negotiate the price with you and you're both happy with it?
Yeah.
So then how long have you got to actually sell that deal? Is it hours or is it a few days? I mean, 'cause he's not going to wait around forever for you, is he?
And I'm glad you're even mentioning that.
I'm getting my money's worth here, Gary.
No, but you're absolutely right. That's the reason why I'm so big on build the list first. Because
because you know you got the criteria, haven't you? Of course you bloody well have.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that the landlords won't stick around for very long. A lot of landlords are super impatient.
Yeah.
They might give you a couple of weeks, if that.
Yeah. They want their place filled, don't they?
Yeah. And it's understandable because obviously the longer the property sits empty, the more money comes out of their pocket. You know, they've outgoings. But this is the point. If you've already got the list built up front, you generate interest 10 times quicker. So then the landlord doesn't even get the opportunity to get impatient, right?
No,
I could show you endless screenshots of the guys in the program. Gary, I've got 9 investors going to view it this week. We've only secured it yesterday, right?
Oh my goodness.
Gary, this investor's going to view it today. We only secured it this morning, right? But you don't get that when you don't have the list already. It's so difficult to be able to move so quickly just by posting the deal in the group, because everything that we do with the investor up front when we're building that list, remember, when there's a deal coming in, if we don't have that list built, we have to do that same qualifying process, but whilst the deal is sitting there. And
exactly. Yeah.
See what I mean? So it just doesn't make sense because time's ticking, the landlord's breathing down your neck, the agent's breathing down your neck. And if you can't move quick enough, you lose it. And the biggest problem is you lose the relationship with that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'll get you. I totally get you.
It just takes for one deal to not work, and then the landlord's upset with you now, and you don't get any more properties from them. Whereas if you already have things set up in advance, when you approach that landlord, you're confident. You already know genuinely that I've got 10 investors that are actually looking for this type of opportunity. So if you go with what I'm proposing, it's very likely that someone's going to be ready to take this on within the next week, you know, and we'll be able to get them to view probably tomorrow or within the next couple of days. So it's that speed, you know. They say success loves speed, don't they? So being able to move a little bit quicker than the normal deal sourcer makes all the difference.
Perfect. Yeah, it makes absolute sense to me now. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Exactly.
And all the pieces are actually making sense, whereas before they were just flying everywhere, or they were all, you know, scattered. But it makes perfect sense what you're saying. So basically, I think what I'm going to take from this now is to just really try and work on getting some investors. And you said you're going to put a qualifying list thing up.
Just do me a favor, guys. If you have, I thought I sent them to you before, Linda.
Yeah, do you know what? You probably did, Gary, but because it's only just made sense tonight, I don't want to cloud my brain with stuff that didn't make sense. But now I actually have got the roadmap. Then I can go, oh, I know what I need now, and I can go back. I'm sure you did, but I would appreciate just to send it again, if you don't mind, with everybody else, and then I can.
Yeah, just to help me out. Just to jog my memory, guys, if you want me to send you the qualifying questions, just shoot me a quick message on school and then I can just respond to you with it rather than me trying to find everyone individually. So just shoot me a message, Gary, qualifying questions, and I'll send them over to you when we finish the call. But yeah, Linda, you know exactly what to do now.
Yeah, I do.
Of course, you're going to hit roadblocks and there's going to be, you know, things you're unsure about moving forward. But again, just reach out. eventually, when we're working together properly,
we will be. And I'm going to give a lot back, Gary, because of what you've given me. I'm going to pass it on to others, and that's for sure. I promise you that.
No worries. Good. I love that.
Okay,
I love that.
All right.
Any other questions, or you pretty clear?
No, give someone else a chance, and I really appreciate what you're doing, and I've loved tonight. Really loved it, and we're 3 hours in. You know that.
I know. I'm about to wrap it up in a minute.
I don't care. It makes no difference to me. It's your time.
this is what always happens, right? I jump on these calls. I plan to keep it to like 2 hours, but then
it rolls on and on. Yeah.
Like I was saying to you recently, Linda, like I'm so passionate about this. Once I get
started,
I don't even remember the time.
I know. Bless you. Oh, thanks,
your time.
Definitely. Thank you. Okay, bye now.
All right, perfect. Okay, I can't see any more questions in the chat. Before I wrap it up, guys, obviously you've just who we've got: Terry, Zika, Nikki. You've just heard me speaking with Linda about the program. What I'm going to do is, at the moment, I'm actually running a 50% discount on the program. I'm not going to go into all the details right now. I'm sure you guys are well aware of what the program is, how it works. All of those examples I just showed you of all the people getting sales, I think we showed you about 10 above. That's just scratching the surface. We have over 150 of those same examples, which you can go and see either on my Facebook or in the free group. But at the moment, we're running a 50% discount. If anybody's interested in it and you'd like more information, shoot me a DM on school. I will send you the link. The link is not going to stay live for very long. Being completely honest, I mean, right now we're starting 2025 off so strong. There's so many sales in the works. I mean, look, we're only 9 days in and there's already sales, there's already offers, there's tons of viewings happening. So yeah, if you'd like to get involved and actually start getting real results with that 24/7 support, actually have somebody that knows the business inside out, a decade or over a decade of experience, that you can reach out to at any time, me and my team. Shoot me a message. I'll send you more information. Maybe we jump on a one-to-one call. Other than that, guys, I really, really appreciate your time and your patience. I know we had some technical difficulties earlier as well, so I appreciate you staying on. Have a great evening. Last opportunity to ask any quick questions before we wrap it up. Any questions at all, guys, before I love you and leave you? None? Okay, perfect. Look, have a great evening. I'll catch you inside the group. Take care. Thank you.